And how's it going, guys and girls? It's me, Uncle, welcome back on my channel, and yes, we are here for the second part of the episode, the 7th episode, I believe. No, the 9th episode of DDLC Within. This is getting a bit out of hand. Well, since the last episode, half of the last episode, it had been getting a half of hand. Either way, yeah, this shit is getting good. So, let's go. But after yesterday I'm a little worried. Then give myself a smack on the head for being so doubtful. Oh, believe me, you're gonna be doubtful. Chances are she'll be over soon. I sluggishly pull my blazer on and grab my bag before heading downstairs. I cook myself up a quick breakfast as I wait for Natsuki to get up. As I cook though, I decided to leave Monika a quick text, let her know I'm awake. Hey Moni, I'm awake. Text me when you can. I set my phone down on the table and return my focus on my eggs. Soon enough I hear footsteps from the room. Immediately I know who it is. Morning, Nat. I hear her yawn. Morning. Natsuki riffles through the fridge to get some milk. As I move my breakfast from pan to plate, I turn to Natsuki. You sure you don't want me to cook you anything? Nah, not in the mood for booze. Food poisoning. I roll my eyes. Alright, sit yourself. I sit at the table with my breakfast and begin to eat. I honestly think my cooking is improving. As I'm eating though, I notice that my phone still hasn't gone off. I decide to check my texts. It's not even SIM marked as read yet. I put my phone down. There's still time before she usually be here. Again, I need to give her time. I run my hands through my hair. What the hell is up with me? Have I gone paranoid, or am I having a fuss over nothing? Knowing me, I'm more than likely that later. As I see Natsuki comes to sit at the table with her cereal. There's an air of silence. Eventually though, Natsuki breaks the silence. Look, I'm sorry for if I'm reading too much into this. Are you okay, Luke? Like, actually okay. I blank out. Natsuki sounds genuinely concerned. I'm fine. Judging by the look on her face, she doesn't buy my answer. Seriously, Nat, I'm fine. I just didn't get much sleep. Why am I even trying to hide it? I can't even convincingly lie to myself, let alone Natsuki. I heard you crying last night, you know? My head goes light. Shit, you heard that? No, I chuckle weakly. I wasn't crying. No, look, you were. I heard it all. You're hurting. I don't want to sound mean, but there's something wrong with you. Really want to help you, but I can't if you don't tell me, and you won't tell anyone what's going on. No, it's hard to be open about what's going on in your head. But just be honest with me, because I'm not gonna let this go until you tell me what's going on. So now I've upset Natsuki. Looking down at the nearly empty plate in front of me, I think over what Natsuki said. I shut my eye tightly and bite the inside of my lip. I know Monika would probably kill me if I let her know. If I let her family secret slip. But at the same time, Monika quite clearly worried about how it's affecting me, and she's also expressed concern for Monika. Plus she's our friend, let alone she's practically my stepsister at this point. I should be able to trust her. With a heavy cig, I look up to the worried girl at my front of me. Do you promise to keep this between us? Unless I get concerned you're gonna do something, then yes. That's good enough for me. I sit up a bit and look her straight in my eye. Remember how Monika stopped by the other night? And how we, she nods, still cautious. After everything that happened yesterday, I'm scared that Monika's dad is going to hurt her if he finds out what we did. Like, more than he already does. Natsuki looks at me both in shock and disbelief. He hurts her? Mostly it's emotional abuse, but there's a part of me that thinks it's more than that. My voice chokes a bit. I mean, he already beat her mom, so I wouldn't bloody surprise me. Natsuki gasps. He does what? I nod, my lips slightly quivering as tears start to brim my eyelids. It feels like there's nothing that I can do. I would call the police, but even then, how could I prove anything? For fuck's sake, her dad already hates me enough. God only knows what happened to me if they couldn't prove what he's been doing. Jesus, my hands are trembling at this point. I look down at my plate. It looks like some of my tears have mixed with what's left of my eggs. Can't even do a thing to protect the woman I love. Look, if you're trying to suggest what's happening with Monika, it's your fault, then stop. I can't explain why her dad is the way he is, but you can't blame yourself. We fall silence once more. The short sound is then broken by the sound of knocking at the front door. Monika, I got to get up, but Natsuki stops me. If you don't mind, I'll go get it. We'll talk about this later. I want to protest, but I feel like that would only cause more problems. I'm not gonna go back to eating my now stone cold eggs. Natsuki goes off and unlocks the door. It doesn't take me long to find out who was at the door. Morning, Natsuki. Where's Luke? He's in the kitchen. Wait, Sayori? I can hear Sayori running down the hall. Jeez, for the first time you could hear... I can hear running down the hall. Hey, Luke. Luke? Are you alright? I stare blankly at Sayori. I step up from my chair and go to pick my bag, then sling it over my shoulder and walk out the house without giving her an answer. I don't wanna know. Classes drag on, but eventually the bell rang out for lunch. Unlike most days, I didn't pack anything or get anything from the cafeteria. I just headed straight for the roof. Natsuki did offer to join me, but I just told her I needed some time to myself. I found myself staring out towards the skyline. The silence is comforting, yet oddly lonely. I would usually be up here with Monika. We would usually either chat about our day or dream our dreams for the future, or just silently find comfort in each other's. But I can't do that without her. And even if I could, the only thoughts of her I'm having right now are whether or not she's okay. I've been worried sick about her before, of course, but this is more than just simply being worried. It feels like there's a weight yanking against my heart, just about ready to rip it out. I check my phone for quite possibly the millionth time today. Still no text back. I ring her again. Hey, Monika, sorry I can't come to the phone right now. Leave a message. As the answer machine tone plays out, my heart sinks faster than usual. Just what could have happened to her? I keep telling myself that she's ill. In what would certainly be seen as desperation by anybody else, I decided to ring Harem. If anyone knows where she is, it would be her mom. Okay, I don't know if that's the best idea. Luke? What's up? Hey, this is gonna sound a little odd, but have you seen Monika at all today? She hasn't been in school all day, and I just wanted to know if she's okay. I took a deep breath, knowing deep down how crazy this all seems. Army stammered slightly, seeming surprised. Well, she told me about what happened yesterday. She could just be having a mental health day, you know. Despite a lingering tone of concern in her voice, she does her best to reassure me. I can always text her and tell her you wanted to check up on her if you want me to. Yeah, if you're okay with it. If I told her that Monty wasn't answering my calls, she'd probably be more worried than she probably is. Of course. Anyway, I gotta get going. Got a meeting in 2 minutes. I'll call you later. Okay, speak to you later. After she hangs up, I slump into a nearby bench. On one hand, I'm thankful I got an idea where she could be. If that is the case, I wouldn't exactly blame her. But being sad, though, even Army sounded unsure. I run my hands through my hair and sick. She's fine. She's fine. You're just going mad. I'm pulled out of my thoughts by the sound of the door opening. I look over and see Sayori. She walks over and sits down next to me. Thought I would find you here. Her voice is soft. I look down at the concrete floor, breathing slowly. Hey, Sayo. My voice is barely above a whisper. There's then a heavy silence between us until Sayori pulls out her lunch. Even then, we don't say anything to each other. Sayori then holds a sandwich up to me. Sayori, you need to eat. You look hungry. Showing a slight bit of reluctance, I take it and slowly start to eat. In all fairness, I don't feel too hungry, but it was nice of her to offer me something. After I finish, she turns to me again. You feeling any better? I shake my head. Christ, I'm blowing this way out of proportion. Maybe Monty's just ill. Although that doesn't really explain why she's not tried to get in touch. Unless her phone is broken, but I don't know about that one. I nod. Maybe. I did call her mom, but she thinks she might just be having a mental health day. Look out towards the city again. I just hope she's okay. Sayori pats my back. Yeah, hey, I'm sure she is. And she's probably hoping your sweetheart's okay. I want to believe that, Sayori, I really do, but I can't shake this feeling that something's wrong. Suddenly the bell rings. I guess it's our cue. Sayori and I start to walk back down. Time for the day to drag again. Monika, what the fuck are you doing? The school day finally finishes and once again I find myself in the club room. To be honest, I'm surprised we are here. It's been about 15 minutes since today's meeting started and none of us have said a word to each other since we came in. Sayori is fiddling with a small eraser at the front desk. Natsuki is rereading a volume of Perfect Girls. Yuri is running around her own. And here I am staring out the window longing for the club's missing piece. Can't explain why, but it feels like that with Monika's absence, the entire group dynamic seems to have been thrown off completely. I look away from the window and pull off my phone, immediately going to my photo gallery. Finding myself flickering through the several photos of me and Moni, I smile for what feels like the first time today. There's just something about those eyes paired with a smile. Something ethereal about their beauty. I seek lightly, causing Yuri to look in my direction for a moment. After another couple of moments of silence, Sayori gets our attention. Okay, everyone, I'm thinking it might be a good idea to end today's meeting earlier than usual. We all look blankly at Sayori for a moment before we collect our stuff. I was thinking we could all walk together again, so none of us feel alone. Sayori flashes me a weak smile. I look down and avert her gaze, causing her smile to falter. We silently agree to Sayori's request and walk out of the clubroom. Most of the walk back is silent, aside from some occasional small talk between the girls. As for me, I trail behind the trio, my eyes mostly focused on the pavement. Yuri is the first to break from the group, followed by Sayori. As Natsuki unlocks the door, my phone starts to ring. I rush to take it out in my pocket until holding out for it being Monika. I look at the screen, I tickle a little and answer almost immediately. Hey mom. Hey on. Are you and Natsuki back home yet? Yeah, we just got back. Why? Well, Momo and I are gonna back a little early today. Mainly 'cause him and Natsuki go back to theirs tonight. And we were thinking about ordering in tonight, you two would like? What would you like? Well, that's certainly a bit of an upper. I mean, I'm up for it. I'm just checked with the gremlin. I hear Mom laugh on the other side as I pop my head indoors. Hey Nat, Mom was on about ordering in. You want anything? Well, duh, of course I do. Put my phone back to my ear. And that's a yes from her. Alright, we'll see you two later. See you later. Tell Monika I said hi. Will do, yeah. Quickly hang up before Mom can notice any change in my tone. I then head back inside to get changed. Mom and Mamoru came back around an hour or so after Natsuki and I came back. They ended up ordering Chinese food. During the wait, I decided to try ring Monika again in hopes I'll at least hear something back. Alas, there is no change. As I lay my phone on the side, I spot Natsuki on the corner of my eye. Still nothing? I check my head. Nothing. Damn. I don't know if I'm being paranoid. But I'm worried, Nat. I really am. To be honest, considering what you told me this morning, I don't blame you for being like this. Like, I'm concerned too. Not just for her, though. For you as well. Damn, am I getting that bad? Nat, don't waste your energy on me. Natsuki scolds. Are you Natsuki stops herself from raising her voice. She gets close to me and lowers her voice. Are you listening to yourself right now? You can't say that. Sorry. The pair of us then hear someone else come into the kitchen. Everything okay in here? Hey yo, my man is back. This is always the guy that is paired up with Natsuki when his father. Look at that. Everything okay in here? It's only Mamoru. Yeah, everything's fine. He raised an eyebrow. Are you sure, Luke? You look really pale. I wave my hand dismissively. Yeah, I'm fine. Just a stressful day at school. Natsuki glares at me for my blatant dishonesty, if you say so. Even Mamoru doesn't seem to fall for my bluff. He simply gets a glass of water and leaves. Once again, Natsuki's voice is low, but it still carries her usual punch. Did you really need to lie to him? I stay silent. No, I shouldn't have lied. But at the same time, I don't really fancy explaining how messed up my head is for a second time. I'll tell them when I'm ready. Natsuki is hesitant for a moment, but she eventually nods. Just promise me you're gonna be okay. I sig regretfully. I look down at the kitchen counter. I can't promise anything, but I'll try. Natsuki nods as she wipes her eyes. Sorry if it sounds like I'm being pissy with you. I do care, you know. I know, Nat. I can't imagine how hard this is for you, but I'll be there for you. Okay? She smiles warmly at me and I smile back. Okay. There's then a knock at the front door. It doesn't take Mamoru too long to answer it. The four of us sit in the living room to eat. Despite the four of us being here, the room is almost silent. If it wasn't for the sound of emitting from the TV or the sounds of the utensils against the plate, It would be deathly quiet. I don't eat much. It's kind of hard to focus on eating when it feels like there's a raging hurricane inside my head. I know it's far from healthy to keep drooling on something like this, but at the same time I can't help but think. Multiple scenarios play out in my head that I'm powerless to stop. However, I keep telling myself that I'm overreacting. She's fine. Her phone's probably just busted. Well, you're not wrong, her phone is busted, but so is her nose, face, probably neck. She's completely busted. I don't know. Dude, we haven't seen Monika's perspective for a long time. I'm starting to get worried. She's probably missing you just as much. Probably not at the extent where it's driving her mad, but still. Eventually, Mom rests a hand on my shoulder. Look, are you okay? You've barely touched your eyes. I slightly turned my head to look at her. I nod weakly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. Mom gives me the same look that Nasky did. You've been like this since we got back. I've noticed you getting quite distant a few times now. Well, it just, I don't know, it feels different somehow. No, you've got it all wrong. I'm okay, seriously. I looked down to the floor. Now I'm lying to my own damn mother, of all people. I really do need help, don't I? As soon as I look back up, I see everyone looking at me, varying yet similar levels of concern. Hey, yo. Bitch, what the fuck? Nasky looks like she's having a hard time keeping in everything I've told her. Look, if something happened, you can tell us. We are family, remember? I wish it was that easy. Don't want to assume, but there are things between you and us, Monika, right? My body tenses up as I hear her name. I mean, things between us are okay, but as for Monika herself, yeah, we are good. I've been better, really convincing. I stand up and start to walk towards the kitchen. Where are you going? I'm just getting a drink. I'll be right back. Get a beer, and chug it down, and bah. I grab one of the glasses I had already used, rinse it, and then get some fresh water from the tap. I gulp it down quickly and take a moment to breathe. Rest my hand on my chest. My heart's racing. I take slow breaths and help my heart rate slow down. I'm nearly able to get my heart beating regularly, but the sudden ringing of my phone sends my heart back into overdrive. It's like something out of a damn slasher movie. I warily take my phone out of my pocket then to see who's calling me. Harumi? She did say she was going to call me later. Maybe she has an update about Monika. I hurriedly answer my phone and put it up my ear. Hey Harumi, what's... I'm then silenced by the sounds of Harumi sobbing down the line. My voice goes from harsh to soft and shaky. Harumi, what's going on? Look, hi, it's Monika, She falls silent. I take a moment to respond. Is she okay? More silence. And I hear her give a heavy sigh. No, she's not. My heart stops beating. My face is frozen in shock. Harumi voice chokes. We would just got back from work. I went to check up on Monika because she hadn't been answering my calls since you called. What? Then I go to her room, I opened the door and I saw her. She was... Then starts to cry again. The longer she does, the deeper my heart sinks. She was what, Harumi? My question and shaky voice carry an air of worry. Don't. She's gone, Luke. She's gone. I found her. She overdosed. She inhaled sounding breathless. And from what the first responders told us, she may have done it this morning. Maybe even last night. There wasn't anything they could have done. I stay silent. I can't even begin to process what I had just heard. All the time I would spend trying to call her this morning. I'm sorry guys, I'm back. Let's go. To be honest, I'm not that shocked because it was like the way things happened yesterday in the game. It was going to happen. All that time I spent trying to call her this morning, and she was already dead? And the last time I heard her voice was a fucking answer machine? No. No, no. My breath becomes shaky as I try to find the words to say, but I can't find them. I so desperately want to call her bluff, but why would Haremy lie about this? Hell, who would? I'm so sorry, Luke. I didn't know how else to tell you. Haremy. I struggle to find words to say. I'm sorry too, I can't. I shook on my voice. Haremy stifles a sob over the line. And then overheard the second voice, one more abrasive and gruff. Daisuke. Haremy then nervously mutters something. Very shyly I speak up. What's going on? Sorry, Luke. I'll call you later. Haremy, wait, She hangs up before I can even finish. I put my phone on the side before running my hands over my face and through my hair, trying as hard as I can to keep it together. But that's proving itself to be difficult, as the only thought running through my head is, I didn't even get to say goodbye. I mumble that to myself as I tap the kitchen counter with my fingers. My lip quivers as tears continue to form in my eyes. I didn't get to. I turned my head to see Mom just walking in, quite possibly overhearing my hand off the conversation with Haremy. After all, I wasn't exactly quiet about it. Luke. Her voice is cautious as she looks at the state I am in. Look away and shake my head. That was Moni's mother. She found Monika. I felt something lock my eyes with Mom. I opened my mouth, but words failed to come out. Only a whimper. I then turn from her and start walking out of the kitchen. Mom does try to stop me, but it proves no use. I head towards the front door, only stopping by the shoe rack to get my trainers. As I'm getting them on, I hear some quiet footsteps approaching me. Not long after, a small voice sheepishly pipes up behind me. Luke? What are you doing? Nothing. My dry, quickening tone doesn't help the case. Wait. Oh shit. This is a meme, come on. My dry creaking tone doesn't help my case. Certainly doesn't look like nothing. Despite that sentence carrying the semblance of Natsuki's usual snark, her delivery is a lot more concerned. There's silence between us as I tie my laces. After I'm finished, I stand straight and grab my jacket from the coat pegs. Natsuki grabs my arm gently and I look back at her with a blank, trained expression. Her expression is one of curiosity and worry. Please, Luke, you can talk to me, you know? I'm silent. How the hell could I even start to describe what happened? I clutched the hood of my jacket and my hands starting to tremble. I'm fine, Ed. I'm fine. Well, it only don't sound fine. Good. Look, please, just... Natsuki, I'm fine. My tone disagrees with my words, no matter the stern facade I attempt to show. By looking in her eyes, I can tell Natsuki's scared. I look away from her as I worriedly pull my jacket on. As I turn towards the door, I am once again greeted by Natsuki, this time looking more assertive. Could you move, Nat? I don't have time for this. I need to get out of here. I need to get to the monies. I'm not budging, not until you tell me what's going on. I told you I'm fine. Something just came up at Monika's place. So, if you could just please move. With my voice becoming increasingly more strained and desperate, I reach out for the door handle, only for Natsuki to grip my wrist before I can grab hold of the handle. No, you're not fine. Who cares? Jesus. Probably he's going to say that, but still. For Christ's sake, you're paler than a bloody ghost. Natsuki, get out of my way. Tried to patch past her, but Natsuki holds me back. Again, for someone of her stature, she's quite strong. I eventually relent in frustration. As I do so, Natsuki's expression softens. Wait, what happened at Monika's? My voice quivers, thrills off as everything falls silent. The reality of the situation becomes increasingly more and more apparent to me. Monika's gone. She's not on holiday. She's not over at her grandparents' place. She's gone. My heart starts to beat faster and faster and faster until it feels like my entire body feels like it's going to abruptly shut down. My head starts to feel light, my hands become far more shaky and clammy. Look, Natsuki starts to timidly approach me, worry is plastered all over her eyes. The closer she gets, though, the more I step back. I eventually find myself backed against the wall. Once more tears have started to form in the corner of my eyes. Nat takes a step back and averts her gaze. She looks on her face softening. The look on her face softening once again. Perhaps deep down she knows exactly what I'm about to say. It's Monika. She's shook on my voice, falling silent once more. At this point I can now feel the coldness of my own tears, slowly itching their way down my cheeks. As much as I want to refuse that this is real, I can't bring myself to deny it. I slide down the wall until I'm set on the ground, knees up and my arms tightly around me. I look towards the ground as I hear Mom and Mamoru approach. I can't bear to look anyone in the eye. I'm mute as the tears starts to fall faster. Anything they attempt to say is lost on me, and I can't focus. Eventually, in a dry, shaken and broken voice I speak. Monika's gone. It's a fact that I know will haunt me. My cries begin to take over. She's gone, and she's never coming back. I clench my eyes as I bury my head in my arms, completely breaking down. The sounds of footsteps rushing towards me become blurred as my mind spirals out of control. All whilst my sobbing starts to verge on screaming. I try to fill my mind with the time Monika and I shared, but the fact I'll never be able to see her again keeps forcing itself to the forefront of my head. I already knew about the first time she had considered this, but never in a million years did I think she would go through with it. I can only find myself asking why. What was going on back home that made her think that this was their own one and only option? Why didn't I notice anything wrong with her sooner? I keep telling myself that there is some way I could have prevented this, but how could I if I was completely oblivious to just how much she was suffering? And now I'm on my own. Now I'll never get to hold her again in my arms. All my dreams and hopes for the future, I can just shuck them away now. She's gone. She's never coming back. And worst of all, I never even got the chance to say goodbye. Act 3, touch. Oh, this has another act. Oh, this is gonna be... Oh, no. No, please don't. Don't tell me that he's actually going to... Dude, this is getting me the vibes of... This is giving me vibes of DDLC exit music. I'm not liking the vibes this shit is giving me. I lay sprawled out on my bed. Once again I wake up in a cold sweat. Another night, another nightmare. It's been the same since the night I lost her. That being said, I didn't even sleep that night. Not that it's been any easier since then. All I see when I close my eyes is just her calling my name, asking me why I wasn't there. Wasn't even there when it happened, yet my mind still finds a way to remind me. I try to sleep, but I'm restless. Rather reluctantly, I get out of bed. I struggle to find an ounce of motivation to do anything. However, I then hear a knock on the door. Grab my phone from the side of my bed and turn the screen to see what day it is. It's Friday. Before I get dressed, though, I take a good look at my lock screen. There behind my recently cracked skin is a girl I'll never forget. But as much as I never want to forget, I can't say her name because of something that I just skipped. Can't say her name without getting caught in my throat. Oh, you can't say a complete name? Jeez. I brush my thumb against one of the cracks, breathing gently out of my nostrils. I wish I could turn back time. I wish I could see her again. With a sigh, I rest my phone on my drawers and head downstairs. I fumble with the keys, but I'm eventually able to unlock the door. Aside from the downpour of rain, I can spot a familiar band of coral hair. Hey, come inside. I open the door a little further and let Siri inside. Siri carefully closes the door. It's been a while since she came over. You're looking rough. Don't have an answer for that. I can't recall the last time I looked at myself in the mirror. How's everything back at school? I haven't been in school in 2 weeks. It didn't take long for news of what happened to reach the school. It eventually got to the point that I had to full-blown attack because people wouldn't stop asking me about her. Wouldn't surprise me if some people thought that I suffered the same fate. It's been alright, kinda. We're still trying to process the everything. I nod. We've been worried about you, Luke. You've not been the same. Hell, we've barely seen you since then. I pinched the bridge of my nose and shook my head. She's got more than enough to worry about already. I don't need to add myself to the list. I'm trying to be here for you. I put my forehead against the wall and slowly breathe. Sorry. Sorry that comes up behind me and pats my back. I know you're hurting, so I'm not gonna hold it against you. But I'm gonna try be there for you as much as I can. I look back at her and smile weakly. Thanks, Ayu. You don't need to thank me. I'll never understand how Sayuri has put up with me all these years. But I'm glad that she's around. Sayuri then takes her phone out of her jacket pocket. Out of jacket pocket, I don't know. I know I only just got here, but I got to get going. Alright, Sayuri. If you want, I can always come over after school to keep you company until my parents get back. Of course, if you want me to. I mean, with tomorrow being the day of the funeral, I could do with all the company I need. Yeah, I would like that. I'll see you later then. I force a smile. Yeah, see you then. Sarah beams before leaving. As soon as she leaves though, I find myself alone again. Alone with my thoughts. Maybe I can use this time to get some writing done? I might not be currently going to school, but I'm still a part of the literature club, let alone one that was run by my girlfriend. It's really the least I can do. I don't want to let her down again, now, do I? The school day drags on until the final bell rings. I then come to the club room and see both Natsuki and Yuri waiting for me. As soon as we step in, we do what we've been doing for the past few weeks. Natsuki started reading her on her own. Yuri sat on a desk close to the window, gazing out the window at the rain. And I'm just sitting at the front, completely clueless of what to do. I did consider putting the club on an indefinite hiatus. Not long after I found out about what happened to Monika. But I personally felt that keeping the club going would be what she would have preferred. She always wanted the club to continue after we were gone. It would be a bit of disservice if we were just to abandon what we all had worked so hard for. Still, though, I'm heartbroken that she's gone, we all are. And at the same time, we're all concerned about what Luke might do. Sorry, Natsuki can still hear his screams from that day. Yuri for a time, though she had something to do with it. Eventually, though, Natsuki told her everything that Luke had told her, and I'm simply worried that he might completely snap. I desperately want to give him the benefit of doubt and say he'll recover, but I can't be too sure, especially with tomorrow looming. Figuring I should at least keep myself active, I go to see if either of the girls want to talk. I approach Natsuki and notice the small white earbuds she's wearing. Instead, I pull out a chair and sit in front of Yuri. You okay, Yuri? I'm doing okay. I could be doing better, but I'm okay. She smiles warmly and I smile back. I'm glad to hear that. Can I ask you something though? Of course, Yuri. How's Luke been? I know it's hard for me to ask, but I know you two aren't close, so I just thought. Plus, he may or may not have been on my mind lately. I think for a bit. Out of everyone, you has been the one that has had the least amount of contact with Luke since he had stopped coming. I know him and Yuri had a bit of a close-ish friendship, so I would feel wrong about leaving her in the dark. Luke's doing alright, but I'm worried about tomorrow. As am I. I can't imagine it's going to be easy. Like, I know us three are going to be there to support him. But is that going to be enough? Yuri looks out of the window once more. I reach out and rest a hand on her wrist. You said he was on your mind, right? She nods. I know it's not the right time to ask, but do you still like him? Like, you know, in that way. She goes crimson. I rest a hand on her shoulder. I'm going to sound selfish. Quickly look towards Natsuki. She's still reading and listening to her music, and then I look back to face Yuri. Yuri, this is just between us, just like when you told me. I promise I won't judge. You're 6. Well, yes, but I know I could never replace Monika. There was a part of me that was jealous at first, yes, but I eventually realized that the connection they had was something else. The love they had for each other meant a great deal to them. It's rare to see that sort of connection come naturally like it did with them. This is gonna be hard one on me, don't tell me. Oh shit, I forgot. I totally forgot about this. Wait, give me a sec. Please. Let's see. It's rare to see that sort of connection come naturally like it did with them. Oh, I like these. What's going on? It's rare to see that sort of connection come naturally like it did with them. Yeah, that's true. She thinks for a moment. I know I could never replicate what they had, let alone replace it. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to. But I still want to see him happy. It's what Monika would have wanted. I give you a teary-eyed smile. It is, yeah. It is. It's what we all... It's all what we want. I get up and start to walk back to the front desk. However, I then hear a knock at the door. That's odd, we don't usually get visitors. It's open. The door clicks open. Yuji and Kaho silently walk in. I've seen Kao around a few times, mostly because Monika was in the console with her. As for Yuji, I've really only seen him around either Luke or Kao. Can't really say I know him that much. Hey, so... You wouldn't have seen Luke lately, have you? I saw him this morning. I don't know if he's on about coming back into school anytime soon, though. Why'd you ask? Yuji regretfully 6. It's probably best if Kao explains. I turned to her. I know it might seem sudden, probably even a bit much, but the student council and myself are working with the school to hold a memorial for Monika. We've been planning it since last week, and we were wondering if Luke wanted to say a few things. My mouth partially hangs open. At the corner of my eye I see Yuri looking over at us. She looks concerned. My eyes dart between both Kao and Ryuji in slight confusion. When's the memorial planned for exactly? For Monday, if I remember right. Ryuji looks back at me with sorrow in his eyes. I feel flustered. I unintentionally raised my voice. Her funeral was tomorrow. That's gonna be hard on him enough as it is. I can't imagine him wanting to talk about it to the whole school. I then lower my voice. He can't even say her name without getting upset. The room is silent after I say that. Well, silent besides the faint music coming from Natsuki's earbuds. Ryuji then turns to Kao. Come on, let's just go. Kao nods and they start to head out. Before they leave, though, Kao stops by the door and speaks to me. Siri, is it? I nod. If you do see Luke later at all, could you let him know about what's happening on Monday? And maybe see if he wants to. Kao, please don't force her to get him on board. He's been through enough already. Ryuji backed out as soon as he spoke up. Kao simply says regretfully, sorry, I'll be going now. Right now. She rushes out, presumably after Ryuji. I just return to the front desk. As I tap my fingers rapidly on the wooden top, I debate whether or not to end today a little earlier than usual. Screw it. Get up and go towards Yuri. Hey Yuri, what's up? I was gonna end today's meeting a little early. Ah, understandable. Yuri collects her things and goes to walk out. Before she does, though, she turns and says one last thing to me. Let Luke know that I hope she is alright. I nod and smile at her. I'll do. After my reassurance, Yuri quietly exits and I go to let Natsuki know. I tap her shoulder and she pulls her earbuds out. Huh? Natsuki looks around the room to realize we're the only ones left. I ended the session a bit earlier. Did I miss anything? You remembered Kyle from the student council, right? Sorta, yeah. Well, she said the school is planning to send off for money. I tried to leave out that she was wanting Luke to say a few words. Ah, that's gonna be fun. I go to get my jacket and bag before returning to Natsuki. I'm gonna be visiting Luke. I was wondering if you wanted to come with. Of course I do. I've not seen him since his panic attack. Can't even get that night off of my head. And those screams. Natsuki stops herself. I rest a hand on Natsuki's shoulder. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Let's go. You wanna talk about on the way to this? Natsuki nods, wiping her eyes. I'll try to. Natsuki gets his stuff and we finally walk out of the club room. I wake up on my desk. I must have dozed off again. I check the time. It's 5 to 4 in the afternoon. They should be about to finish the club right about now. I guess I should prepare for Sarah's visit. Sluggishly I get up from my desk chair and head to the bathroom. I quickly splash my face with a bit of warm water. After drying myself, I look at myself in the mirror. Christ, Sarah wasn't kidding. I do look rough. I run my hand over my mouth, my slowly developing stubble brushing against my fingers and palm. As I do, my thoughts take hold of me. Why are you still here? There's nothing left for you. You're just dragging everyone else down with you. I close my eyes tightly to attempt to block out the voices. Yuri? Natsuki? Yuri? Mamoru? Your own them, mother. You're just leading them on until the inevitable. I slam my fist on the counter and open my eyes. My breath and my hands are shaky. My thoughts have been getting worse each day. Mom's already put a funeral in for me to see the therapist. God only knows how long I'll be waiting though. I'm then brought back to the reality by the knocking at the front door. After collecting myself, I head downstairs. I unlock the door and let both Zero and Natsuki in. Before I can say anything though, Natsuki just comes up to me and hugs me tightly. Hey Natsuki. Missed you. She's straight to the point. Looks straight into her pink eyes. Miss you too. How are you and your dad been? Natsuki releases me. I mean, Dad's been fine. He's been checking in with your mom to see if you and her are alright. And as for me, honestly I'm still worried about you. I reach around and pat Natsuki on the back. Nat, I'm doing okay. I'm still here, aren't I? Natsuki looks away, unsure of what I would just say. Doesn't take me long to realize the implications of my sentence. I'm just gonna get some water. I quickly rush to the kitchen. Grab a glass near the sink, fill it, and quickly gulp down the water. Once again my breathing is shaky. I've gone from overthinking everything I say to speaking without even taking a single second to process it. Fucking terrific. I turn my head to see Sayuri having just walked into the kitchen. Hey. I smile weakly. Hey, how are you? You know me, same old, same old. Yuri also wanted to say hi in hopes you're okay. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm 100% okay, but I'm fine. I attempted to smile again. Besides, I'll see Yuri tomorrow. At the I struggled to even say the last part without choking up. The last funeral I went to was my biological dad's. Even then, that was 7 years ago. And now tomorrow I have to go to Moni's. Tears start to trickle out my eyes. I end up covering my face with my hand and having a light cry to myself. Siri rushes over and wraps her an arm around me. That only causes me to cry more. I try to speak, but my voice is strained. Why am I like this? I just want to hold her again. I just wish I could hear her voice and tell her how much I love her again. I want to feel her warmth again. I envelop Siri in my arms and almost fall on my knees as a result. I just want her back, Siri. I just want her back. The last sentence comes out as a strained whimper. Even now I can't bring myself to say the name that's been on the tip of my tongue for what feels like forever now. I can hear Natsuki coming into the room. It doesn't take her long to join Siri on holding me. They shouldn't be wasting her energy on me. Their energy like this on me. It's like they're carrying a death weight. In time they let me go and I stand up. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to break down. It's gonna be hard, no. But we're gonna be here for you. Or you shouldn't be. I slide my hands into my pockets. I know you've only just arrived, but I would like some time alone. Just to mentally prepare for tomorrow, you know? Both girls look downcast. Eventually, though, Natsuki sigs and looks back up at me. You promised me I'll see you tomorrow. Another look down at the ground. Of course, yeah. It's really the one chance I actually have to say goodbye to her. I know tomorrow's going to be bloody. It's going to bloody kill me, but I've got to do it for her. I'll see you tomorrow, Nat. After saying bye to Sayori, Natsuki quietly leaves, giving me one more worried glance as she does. That's something I should probably tell you before I go. I'll come looking for you today. She did? Sir, not. The school's planning a memorial for Monday. My chest tightens as my head widens slightly. Right. My eyes are darting all around the place. Before I can start getting too erratic, though, Siri comes up to me and wraps her hands around my wrists. I'm not gonna pressure you into coming in that day. Just thought it would be best to let you know. Siri then gives my wrist a gentle squeeze. However, despite Siri's intentions, I wince a little. Luke? They'll heal. Luke, we talked about you doing this. Oh, so he cuts himself. Oh, freaking dandy. That's great. Bravo. Come on, dude. I cannot say something like, you shouldn't do that, that's a big no from someone that has done that. I cannot like just go around and say you shouldn't do that, that's a big no. But come on. Don't turn that into an addiction. It becomes addicting at some point. You can't let that happen. You need to stop. You gotta stop, buddy. Don't end up like the MC from Exit Music Redux or Exit Music, the original one. Just don't. Please. Okay, let's go. Look, we talked about doing this. Sayori, they'll heal, okay? My voice almost breaks. I started only a few days after she passed and it's already become a crutch. Just go, Sayori. I'll be fine. Sayori takes a step away from me and looks away. There are sounds between us. I can't imagine what she could possibly be thinking right now. Disappointment? Possibly frustration. Something else? Who knows at this point? It's not like I could exactly blame her anyway. I'll see you tomorrow, Luke. She leaves without another word. And again I'm left with only my thoughts and the pattering of the rain outside. I head back upstairs and return to my desk. Resting my balled fist on the side of my head, I rack my brain for an idea of what to do. I take a look at the scattered sheets littered around the table. Nothing but a bunch of barely legible scribbles. I breathe slowly as I lower my hand onto the table, then grab a hold of the loose bit of paper and my pen. Breathing slowly, I begin to write. Seems delightful with you. Okay, we have a poem from us, and this one actually has a legible, letter. With you, the cloudy gray sky is over us. We all stand there, clad in the dark and solemn. The mutual mourning routine is the only thing shared between everyone here, between you and I. You, the girl I couldn't save, you, the girl who meant more to me than anyone could ever know. You, the one I loved with all my heart. You loved me too. Yet now hearing your name only hurts. With you I felt complete. Without you I've succumbed to defeat. With you I rode the emotional high of my life. Without you both my heart and soul only no strife. And now as I look down at the earth where you now reside, I only have one wish. To be buried under earth with you. Oh shit. The day of the funeral is a chilly one. All is so for the middle of summer, but it suits in a weird sense. Despite everyone that was there, I still felt like I was on my own. I just sat still this entire time. Both friends, family, and even some of our extended family gave me their condolences. But it all just sinks in. I don't respond to any of it aside from giving another too. Being here feels like I'm suffocating. But I promised myself that I would be here. If not for myself, then for her. Hours passed, each seemingly stretching longer than the last. My eyes locked onto her casket. It was an open casket funeral, so I was able to see her before I sat back down. As soon as I saw her though, my heart sank in the depths of my chest. Just seeing her there, the love of my life just laying there, cold, lifeless, yet her face bears a pained expression. Just another reminder of that day. Eventually, the casket is closed. It then starts to be lowered, and lowered, and lowered, and lowered until she becomes one with the ground. As soon as they start refilling the hole with dirt, I look down at the ground and bite down the insides of my bottom lip. I'm trying my hardest not to cry. The last thing I want to do is cause a scene at my girlfriend's funeral. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I did. Soon enough, everyone starts to disperse. Everyone, except me. I just remain sad, staring across towards her gravestone. Once everything clears up, Mom does come up and asks if I want to stay. Well, if I would want her to stay with me for a bit longer. I simply shake my head. I'll be fine. I would just like a moment with her. Mom shows a bit of real intense, but eventually says she'll wait for me in the car. As she leaves the cemetery, I get up and slowly walk towards the stone slab. I soon stop, still in my tracks, and look down. The first thing I notice in the text is the text that has been delicately engraved onto it. Monika, here I. 22nd September 1998, 6th June 2017. Beloved daughter, granddaughter, and friend. My eyes flicker across the eulogy until they meet the lace at the very bottom of it. Behind a small glass panel there's a picture of her, the girl who currently resides under the ground on which I stand. She's smiling at that picture, which looks to be from her 18th. What I would give to see that smile again, to hear her laugh again, to feel her warmth again. What I would give to hold her again, to see her again. To see. Hey Monica, it's Luke. It's been a while, hasn't it? A quiet, shaky voice finally leaves my mouth. That's the first time in a while I've said her name without it getting caught on my throat. I wait a minute before speaking again, as if she will somehow be able to hear me. Maybe she can, I don't really know. I've not been at school for a while, were getting a little too much for me to handle. Speaking of school, though, they're holding a memorial for you on Monday. I temporarily paused to wipe my eyes. Sarah's been keeping the club going since you've been gone. She's not told me how it's been going yet. The girls have been doing okay, but I know they're still trying to cope. And me, well, some tears forming, but I'm able to keep myself from breaking down. I wish you were here. You were still here, Monica. I really do. I wipe my eyes again, sniffling as I do so. Christ, I miss you so much. I cover my mouth as I slowly start to crack. Just seeing her like this, it's undescribable. I take a slow breaths to steady myself before I even attempt to speak again. I know it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna. I fall silent. I can't even promise Monica that I'll be okay. I start to step away, still not taking my eyes off the gravestone. Eventually, though, I turn around and look straight at the ground as I start walking. I start building speed, my eyes not once looking away from the grass. I keep walking until I bump into someone. I look up and see I bumped into Army. Mrs. Uri. Sorry, I wasn't looking where I was going. Look, you don't have to apologize. Also, there's no need to be so formal. She, she smiles warmly at me. We've not seen each other since last Saturday. That day she came to tell me about the funeral arrangements and just checked how I was doing in general. How have you been doing? Been a little while since I've seen you. If I said I was fine, I would only be being half honest. I'm alright some days, but I'm still struggling to process everything. Like one day she's telling me she's okay, and then the next day I find her. It's a mother's worst nightmare. I can't imagine what that was like. And when I had to tell you, God, you sounded heartbroken. I nod. I was. I still am. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time until that feeling goes away. If ever. My voice is strained. I love her, I still do. But some days it hurts to think about her. I can never apologize enough for what happened. There's so much I could have done. Army, it wasn't your fault. You raised an amazing daughter, and I'm incredibly grateful that I got to meet her. Seeking a way to shift the conversation, I look to my right and spot Daisuke. He seems to be smoking. How's he been handling the things? Might not like Daisuke, but it would be rude for me not to ask. If you knew that that motherfucker is the one behind this all, you wouldn't be so polite. Army looks over to the husband and then back at me. I don't know how to explain it, but he seems completely unfazed by everything. Given how we treated Monika, I can't say I'm surprised. But even then, I at least thought there would be some semblance of emotion in there. I again look to my right, to my red eyes. Then he spotted us and started walking over. Army, what's taking you so long? He sounds agitated. When he looks over at me, his brows sharpen, almost like he's angry at the fact that I'm talking to Army. Talking to Luke. Is there an issue with talking to our daughter's boyfriend? Army's tone is just as sharp. Dice keeps his eyes locked on me. I never said there was an issue with it. I just want you to hurry up. What was that last part directed to her or me? I see and look directly at him. There's a myriad of things I want to do to him. I want to ask him how he can live with himself despite everything he's done. Part of me even wants to beat him to the ground for all the pain he's caused, but he doesn't even deserve that. It would be too much effort. Plus, would I be able to forgive myself if I did cause a scene at Monika's funeral? I doubt it. Look, Daisuke, I get it. You don't like me. First off, don't worry, that feeling is very much mutable. Second, whether you realize it or not, I care a great deal about your daughter and your wife. Certainly a lot more than you seem to. There are so many things I want to say to you. But unlike you, I actually have something you seem to lack, and that would be respect for your daughter. My tone gets noticeably sharper and more direct. Daisuke scolds at me, almost like he's about to rip my head off. He goes to say something back, but he keeps quiet. He eventually just storms off, glancing back and forth at me. Hopefully it's the last time I have to see him. And then snap my head back to Army. I'm sorry about that. Didn't know what came over me. It's okay. It's honest. It's not the kind of relieving to hear someone talk to him like that. There's a moment of silence between us. I should probably get going and let you go now. It's been lovely seeing you again. Likewise. If you ever want to chat, you can always come over. I might have to take her up on that offer, if I don't go mad first. If I have the time, I will. I managed to give her a warm but still very forced smile. Army gives me a hug before we part ways. Your presence is quite comforting, yet it does little to quell the storm slowly brewing in my mind. I then start to walk back to my mother's car, returning my gaze to the floor. Holy shit, I liked the phrase, I like what he said to Daisuke. Like, that motherfucker deserved. When we got back home, I went straight upstairs. I didn't even bother getting out of my suit. Just went up and started laying on my bed, staring up at the ceiling. Today went surprisingly better than I would expect. I didn't have a complete meltdown. I guess that's a plus. My brain keeps replaying the events from my past few weeks. Monika killed herself. I had a panic attack in the middle of school. I got a psychiatric referral. Army came down to let me know about the funeral. I started. I look over to my cabinet, my eyes focus on the first drawer. I know what's in there, and I suppress the urge. I can't. Not now. I breathe in, and I breathe out. I breathe in, and I breathe out again. Fuck. I am a wreck. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. I bring it up to my face and turn on the screen. There she is. That's the last photo I ever took with her. Just us, together under the setting sun. That's how I want to remember her. My gorgeous, loving Moni. But my mind keeps forcing me to remember those last 2 days. First being tormented at school for things that weren't anyone else's business, and then she was gone. She was taken from me. And there wasn't anything I could have done. I feel my tears coming back. Not again. I drop my phone on my bed and cover my face to muffle my sobs. Why, Monica? Why does it hurt every time I think of you? After a few minutes I remove my hands and stare blankly at the ceiling with my glassy eyes. I'm fine. I'm okay living like this. Time heals all wounds. That's what they all say, right? I then hear a knock on my door, causing me to frantically sit up. It's open. The door opens and Moms walk in. Hey, how are you holding up? She looks at me with worry, very present in her gaze. I'm managing, but I'll be okay. Mom paces around my room for a bit. Are you alright? She's 6. It's the office. They're wanting me in tonight. And by the sound of it, they're wanting me on another business trip. Oh, couldn't they get anyone else? I did check, but by the sounds of it, everyone else is either sick or on leave or busy. I even tried to get it rearranged, but no, Toyama's been insistent. Up to the point that it's pissing me off. She lets out an exhausted sigh. On the bright side, she won't have to put up with you. I'm sorry for the short notice. Mom, you don't have to apologize. You can't help it. I should be able to manage on my own for a few days. That's bullshit and you know it, Luke. Promise? I quickly nod. Yeah, I'll be fine. It should be only a couple of days, right? I will be leaving tomorrow and I wouldn't be back until Wednesday evening. You sure you'll be able to manage that long? Yes, I'm sure. Feeling a little unsure about my response, Mom goes to leave my room. Just let me know if you need anything, alright? I smile at her. Will do. She leaves and I go back to laying on my bed. Give me a sec. I am back. You're about to get terminated. She leaves and I go back to laying on my bed. I take a slow, shaky breaths. I'm tired out. Didn't get much sleep last night. Maybe I should get some rest now? It's probably for the best. Don't really have much to do tomorrow, am I? I just curl up on my bed and let the exhaustion take over. It's going to be fine. Please tell me that. The dream. Last night I had a dream about you. In this dream I was standing right beside you, and it looked like how I remembered us last. A memory of the past, just us two in the crowded room. Despite the crowd seeming busy, I could only hear you. The one who would make my heart swoon. But then everything began to dissolve into nothingness. The crowd, the room, and then you. Before I knew it, this dream was all gone. Another day, another dollar. I groggily wake up. I didn't sleep too much, but I got a little bit more sleep than I did on Saturday. At this point, any sleep is sleep. I check my phone. Sunday, 6:32 a.m. I sit up and run my hands over my face. I just stay there for a moment, my eyes slowly readjusting to my surroundings as I look around. After a few minutes, I get up and make my way to the bathroom. I take off my dirty pajamas and let them slump onto the ground. Once I step into the shower, I turn it on without a care as to either how warm or cold it is. As I feel the lukewarm water rain down, I just allow it to soak into my skin. It's actually pretty soothing, but only for the body. The thoughts from yesterday continue to circulate in my mind. Thankfully, I'm able to keep more that depressing thoughts from fully taking control of me. Some come through, but I'm able to keep most of them at bay. I see as I look down at the marks on my left wrist. I'm fine. They'll heal. I'll heal. I keep telling myself that as I clean myself. Then I'm finished up. I turn the shower off. I then fetch a towel and dry myself and then wrap it around me and head back to my room. Switching the lights on, I head towards my closet. I open it and grab some loose-fitting clothes. I quickly throw them on and shut the door. I then grab my towel and go to leave my room, but I don't leave straight away. I grip my towel firmly. My eyes drift towards my closet, more so the handle. Focus on it for a good minute or two. My eyes then look back to my towel. My heart starts to race as my body starts to act on its own accord. I rush towards my closet and start to tie my towel around the handle. My hands are clammy, but I'm able to tie it into a makeshift noose, and then grip the towel as firmly as possible. Hurry up. Get it over with. I just stand there shaking in place. Quit stalling. You said you would do anything to see her again, didn't you? I can't. I release my grip and fall back to the floor, frozen in both shock and disgust. I just stare at the towel hanging from the handle. No. I wasn't just about to do it. Surely not. I shake as I stand back up. Not long after I do so, I rush to the bathroom just in time to vomit. The stench of bile fills up the bathroom. God, just what the hell is wrong with me? How can I be that desperate? I start to cry loudly in the ceramic bowl, my sobs reverberating around the room. It hurts to breathe after a while. I eventually sit against the bathroom cabinet. Well, less sitting, more slumping against it. My breath slowly starts to settle. I stand up and immediately head downstairs. I don't look back into my bedroom. Not now, anyway. Don't walk back into my bedroom, okay. I end up spending the next several hours watching TV and attempting to write and snacking on anything I can. Just anything that could take my mind off of everything. I'm successful for the most part, being able to push my little incident from this morning to the back of my mind. However, it still managed to make me shiver. What if I actually did go through with it? And why if they felt like part of me wanted to go through with it? Monika wouldn't want that. I then get up from the sofa and head towards the kitchen to make something to eat. Before I get there though, there's a knock at the door. I unlock the door and open it. It's Sayuri. She looks like she didn't sleep too well. I let her in. Sayuri? Didn't expect to see you today. Just thought I'd come over to check on you. Like after yesterday, I just got worried about how you weren't coping. As I probably should have guessed, probably doesn't help that I didn't answer any of their texts last night. Probably wouldn't be a great idea to mention this morning either. God only knows how she would get. I've been okay. Was a little sick this morning, but besides that I've been alright. Sarah looks away. I can't tell whether or not about what I said. Can I check her wrists? I shuffle uncomfortably in place, sliding my hands in my pocket. Sorry, I'm fine. Promise. Look, please. Sayuri, I've not cut since Friday. I'm fine. Her persistence is kinda starting to irritate me. She's been like this since my panic attack and when she first found out about me doing it. She's been checking every time she's seen me. I'm only trying to look out for you, Luke. I sig. We're not gonna get anywhere like this. Rather reluctantly I take my hands out of my pockets and present my arms to Sayuri. See? Just the same ones from Friday. Part of me was tempted to do it yesterday, I'll admit, but I didn't. That was a good start. I hope so. Considering this morning, I doubt it's going to stay that way. So, I was gonna do myself something to eat. You want me to do you something? I mean, if you're offering, I can't really say no. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I mean, if you're offering, I can't really say no. The pair of us then walk over to the kitchen. Sarah takes a seat at the table whilst I go to the fridge to pick something out. Bacon should do nicely. Taking the packet from the fridge with me, I then go over to the stove. I grab a clean pan, put some oil in it, and set it on the hob, and turn the gas on and light it carefully. Then after the pan's heated up for a bit, I finally put some bacon on. Whilst it's cooking, Sayori speaks up. Where's your mom? I thought she would be up by now. She's on a business trip in Tokyo. I've got the place to myself for a few days. She's clearly concerned. And she was. And she has every reason to be. Sayori, what is it? Nothing. Sayori, you know you can tell me if something's bothering you. It's just that, with everything that's happened lately, I just want to know if you're gonna be safe. I give a heavy sigh. Sayo, I'll be fine. It's not like I'm gonna set myself and the house on fire now, is it? Sir doesn't seem to take my comment lightly. Please don't joke like that. How was I joking? I move my focus on the bacon, eventually finishing enough for both myself and Sayori. I butter some bread assembled and the sandwiches and hand a pair to Sayori. As the pair of us start to eat, we remain in tense silence. Sure, Sayori and I have had slight rifts in the past, but this silence is unlike any other we've had before. I say, sure, I may be annoyed with how persistent she's being with all this, but I know she cares, and to some degree, that hurts just as much. They all care, and I'm hurting them, and all I can do is make excuse after a fucking excuse. I go to say something, but Sayori goes up to the bathroom before the words can leave my mouth. As I wait, I can't help but worry about if she checks my bedroom. I can't remember if I untied the towel from around the closet. If she walk in, she'll start to piece everything together. My heart beats frantically and the floorboards creak. My bedroom right above the kitchen. To my relief, though, Sayori comes down not long after she had gone up. But still we don't talk. Some time passes, but then Sayori looks towards me. So about tomorrow. Or I'm going in. I give her a direct answer. Sayori raises her brow in what seems to be a mix of confusion and concern. What is it now? You remember what's happening tomorrow, right? The memorial? Yeah, I know. Mainly 'cause you told me. The thought hasn't left my mind. Sayori looks away from me. My right hand starts to shake. I can't keep hiding from what happened. I just gotta sit there for who knows how long, listening to people singing Monika's praises and saying how much they'll miss her. All whilst the most part of the audience couldn't give less than two shits about what she was going through. Who knows, maybe those girls from PE class will be there to crack some tasteless fucking jokes at their expense. Look, you're thinking about it all wrong. Am I? Or do I just remember how cruel people in the school can be? Are you listening to yourself right now? I sit up from my chair and start to pace around the room. Even use my free hand to prevent the other one from shaking. Do you even remember just how bad she got that day? Were you even worried about what happened to her? Of course I was bloody worried. Don't just hear about one of your close friends storming out of their class and not get worried. Certainly raised her voice at me a few times in the past, but never with this much intensity. I leaned against the kitchen counter. Sorry, you weren't having to stay up most nights worrying if her dad was going to beat her that night. You didn't have to spend the whole day wondering why she never called you back, and her mother didn't have to call you up to tell you that she killed herself. Can't feel tears starting to sting my eyes. I'm trying my best to keep my composure. I turned away from Sierra and looked down on the counter tightly, shutting my eyes. I know you're still upset about Monika. I'm still upset. It broke my heart when I first heard about what she was going through. That's why I'm trying to tell not to come in tomorrow, because I know that it would only make things worse than going in. I'm already sad. I'm not hiding from it anymore. I'm just trying to, Sayori, could you stop babysitting me every 5 fucking minutes? My voice cracks as I bang my fist against the counter. I turn to face her, tears streaking down my cheeks. Do you realize just how exhausting it all is? Everyone telling me how worried they are. How you constantly checking my arms, even waking up most days. I'm bloody sick of it. As I continue to speak, my voice grows more and more shaky and my heart starts to beat more and more irritably. I don't mean to yell, but I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired. Once more I turned from her and leaned against the counter, this time hiding my eyes behind my palms. I could have lost my temper at anyone, but of course it had to be Sayori. I feel her come up behind me and rest her hand on my shoulder. You should go. Not leaving. I remove my hands from my eyes and look straight at her. As I speak, I'm barely holding back my ears. I'm not asking you, I'm fucking telling you. You should go. Please. No, I'm not leaving up. I'm not leaving or giving. I'm not giving up on you. Oh yeah, this mod did start with us saving Sayori, didn't it? Hasn't it? Sayori pulls me into a tight embrace. It takes me a while to reciprocate her embrace, but I eventually do. I cling to her, I press my mouth against her shoulder as I attempt to muffle my sobs. I feel Sayori run her hand through the hair on the back of my head. We're all here for you, and no matter how hard it gets, we'll always be here. Again, I know she cares, and aside from Monika not being here, that's the part that hurts. Sayori already has her own demons she's fighting. She doesn't need me to make things worse. Aside from my sobs, I'm silent. Eventually, we'll release each other. I hope you know I meant every word of that. I wipe my eyes. I know, Saya. I know I said I didn't want you coming in tomorrow. And to be honest, I still don't. But if you do, would you mind if the girls and I walk to school with you? As much as I want to say no and give her one of the several possible excuses I could come up with, I can't deny I would appreciate the company. Yeah, I think I would like that. Through her tears, Sayori beams brightly. I scratched the back of my neck. Also, I'm sorry for yelling at you. It's fine. You did kinda scare me a little though. I look away a bit and blush faintly. I need to get a grip. I'm guessing you're gonna be going home now. I was thinking about staying over for a bit. You know, like old times? I'm thinking about staying over. Oh yeah, she wants to spend the night with us. Okay. A slight smile forms across my lips. Nostalgia can be a sweet thing. Yeah, I'd like that. Okay, so we won't kill ourselves today. How good is that? Sayori stayed for the next few hours. Staying true on her word, she asked both Natsuki and Yuri if they wanted to walk with us tomorrow. Luckily for us, they were more than happy to. After she left, I went upstairs and was able to bring myself to untie the towel from the handle. I ended up dumping the towel back in the bathroom. As for now, I'm laying on my bed, looking up at the ceiling. Today seemed to speed by, but then again, that's just weekends in general. As I try to relax, though, I can't help but think about the memorial tomorrow. I know I told Sayori that I'm fine coming in. A good chunk of me is still sure of that fact, and desperately want to move on from the pain of Monika being taken away from me. But there's just another part of me that's wondering if I'm trying to force myself to move on too soon. Feeling exhausted, I try to close my eyes and get some rest. I can't sleep. Like most nights, I just see her. I sit up in my bed and bury my head against my knees. Breathing heavily, my eyes look towards my cabinet. No, not now. We've just barely gone 2 days without it. We can make a third. I force myself to look away, burying my face deeper against my knees. If I can't see it, I can't be tempted. Right? My eyes go on a constant back and forth between my bed and the cabinet. It lasts for what feels like a good few minutes until eventually they settle on the cabinet. My body takes control of itself, and once again, as my arms reaches towards the top of the drawer, I open it and pull it out. My eyes scan the sharp edge of the steel as I find myself face to face with my makeshift coping mechanism. My heart pummeled. Standing in the air through my teeth, I press the cold blade against my left wrist. Just one more time, Luke. One more time. One more time. I find myself in the dark hallway. I keep walking, but the hallway is never ending. It's a reoccurring dream I've been having. It's one I can't control no matter how much I try. I know whose house I'm in. Much like every time I've had this dream, I keep walking, trying every door to no avail. Eventually, though, I come across the door I always do. One with a slightly bloody doorknob. That's her door. I grip it tightly, taking a deep breath. I gently open the door. I'm forced to wake by the sound of my alarm. Thankfully so, I didn't need to see that sight again. I check my phone. 6:30 a.m. I'm actually surprised I managed to wake up on time. The past few times I've used an alarm, I've just slept through it. Maybe it's because I know the girls are going to be waiting for me. Maybe it's because of that. Whichever is it, point is I'm awake. I get up and fetch my uniform from the closet, silencing my alarm as I do so. Before I get my shirt on, though, I look at both my arms with deep regret. I was doing so well. There are some bandages downstairs, I can use them. Taking the rest of my uniform with me, I head to the kitchen. I rest my shirt, blazer and tie on the table before I start to search for the bandages. I check every shelf and cupboard until I eventually find them. I carefully wrap them over the wounds. My uniform should be enough to hide them. At least I hope so. As I'm buttoning up my shirt, there's a knock at the door. I unlock the door and open to see Natsuki and Mamoru standing there. They both share a familiar look of concern as they look at me. Considering everything that's happened, coupled with my general lack of contact with everyone, outside of Sayuri and Mom, I can't say I'm surprised. Hey, you two. Hey, you doing okay? I nod. Yeah, I'm fine. Just woke up not so long ago. I don't tell either of them about my dream or what I would have done the night before. I then turn to Mamoru and smile nervously. Been a while, hasn't it? It has. I'm glad you're doing okay. Look, stop fucking lying. How's your mom doing? She's been okay. Still quite annoyed by having to go on the trip, but still okay nonetheless. Mamoru nods. He then turns to Natsuki. I'll be off now. You've got your keys, right? Natsuki takes her keys from the pocket to show Mamoru. You're gonna be back normal time? I should be, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you when I'm back. Mamoru waves to me before heading out. As soon as I hear the car leaving, I speak. Quite surprised he came with you. He cares about you too, you know? No, I know that. I just meant I thought he would have been at work already. I mean, I would have just walked down, but Dad woke up a little later than usual. So I just decided to screw it and ask him to drop me off. And she smiled cheerily, contrasting with her earlier display of worry. Knowing Natsuki though, it's still on her mind. I then head to the kitchen and fetch my blazer and bag immediately, heading back to Natsuki after I do so. What do you want to do before Sayuri and Yuri get here? To be honest, I didn't really think about that. I just kinda assumed Sayuri would have been here before me. I checked my phone for the time. 6:58 a.m. Sayuri should be up by now. As if on cue, there's then a knock. Once more, I open the door. Morning, Luke. Sayuri cheers radiates across the room. Yuri smiles warmly in my direction. Considering what's happening today, it is a bit strange seeing their smiles. My best guess is that they are trying to remain positive. Morning, it's great to see you both. Anyways, we're gonna get going. I know it would be considerably early, but I personally wouldn't mind having a slower walk, if that's okay with everyone. I mean, I don't mind. You too? I look towards both Natsuki and Sayuri. I wouldn't mind that. Natsuki nods in agreement. The four of us then walk out. This is gonna be fun. We initially start walking in a group, but I soon end up merely trailing behind them. I end up looking towards the ground. I know they're trying their best to remain optimistic, but I can't. No matter how hard I try to move forward, my mind just ends up taking several steps back. You can't move on. You never will. I look back up to the three girls. You can't keep dragging them along with you. Come on, shut the fuck up. I stop in my tracks and raise my hand up to my head. A painful, irritating migraine shoots through the side of my head. My breathing grows heavy as I stand. Eventually, though, I'm pulled back into reality by a hand gently grabbing hold of my bicep. I look to my side and see Yuri standing there, particularly an expression on one of worry. Are you alright? Seeing Yuri this close slightly flutters me. It's nothing. It's just a slight headache. My eyes dart forward to see Natsuki and Sayuri away ahead of us. Just how long had I been spacing out? Yuri gently smiles towards the other girls and gestures towards them presently to tell them to carry on. I then see them keep walking until they turn a corner. Would you like to walk together? Considering how close she is, I don't think I have much of an option. Plus, I didn't really talk to her at the funeral. I mean, I'm probably gonna be awful company. But I wouldn't mind. The pair of us start to walk in silence. There's this feeling of awkwardness. I can't tell if it's because of how close she is, the small glances she makes in my direction, or something else. Knowing me, though, it's probably my mind making things worse than they seem. No, probably that's exactly it. After the silence lasts a little longer, Yuri starts to softly speak up. So, I know we didn't talk much on Saturday, but I just wanted to ask you how you have been. I already know the answer to that question, but it's something I can't bring myself to admit. I've been fine. Well, not completely fine. I did cry a little when I and I threw up a bit yesterday. Besides that, I'm fine. I have to say I didn't expect you to come in today. I was gonna have to come back at some point. We can't stay cooped at home together. And I certainly can't keep hiding from what happened. It's only after I've said that then I start to notice you're getting a little uncomfortable by my unknowingly harsh tone. Sorry, I didn't. You don't have to apologize. I can imagine it's still quite difficult, like, dealing with all this. I exhale. I remember Yuri saying that if I wanted to, I could talk to her about anything that was bothering me. Of course, that was before Monika. Surely the offer would still stand, right? It is difficult. You ever wake up in the middle of your night because it feels like someone's there only to realize you're alone? The wordlessly fumbles with a she wordlessly fumbles with a strand of her hair. Once or twice, but that was a while ago. Not that I'm trying to compare what you're going through to a silly little fantasy of mine. Yuri, it's fine. But that's how I feel mostly at night. I still feel Monika's presence more than I would like to admit, and sometimes it's hard to tell whether or not that's a good thing. My breathing is slowly building speed once again. I love her look. Of course she'll be on your mind. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about what happened. A warm, comforting smile then comes over Yuri's face as she gently squeezes my hand. Never forget that I'm here for you. We all are here for you. The look in her eyes, the smile and the grip on my hand reminds me of how Monika used to be with me. Would you be trying to know you with it? She's just being nice. My heart is beating like it wants to burst out of my chest. It's then that Yuri realized what she was doing. Sorry, I didn't mean to. She realizes my hand and shrinks into herself. She releases my hand and she shrinks into herself. I would tell her it's okay, but I'm honestly speechless. I simply nod and we continue to walk to school in a tense, awkward silence. Great one, Yuri. Good to go, good one. We eventually catch up to Yuri and Natsuki. We wordless walk up to them. However, Yuri ends up walking straight past the three of us and directly into school. From the slight glimpse I got of her though, I noticed her face was still crimson. Natsuki opted to chase after her. What's up with Yuri? I was talking about how I've been and she just started holding my hand. As soon as she realized that what she was doing, I don't know. I guess she kinda freaked out. Sorry flashes me a worried glance. You still want me to walk with you? I nod and we continue on our way. As Yuri accompanies me to class, I can feel the eyes of all the other students etched themselves into my skin. They're staring with cold, shocked expressions, almost like they've seen a ghost. I bite the inside of my lip in a vain attempt to silence my consciousness. There's whispers too. Whether they're about me or not, I don't know. But they're whispers nonetheless. Eventually, though, we make it to my first class of the week. Before Yuri goes off to her own class, I ask her one last thing. When's the memorial? My voice is dry, hushed and monotone. I'm not sure. Not too sure, but I'm guessing it will probably be during the first break. I nod, my eyes drifting towards the door. I guess I'll see you there then. A silent nod is my only response to Yuri's downcast tone. After some slight hesitation, she slinks away into the crowd as she goes off to her own classes. As for me, I just idly stand around just waiting for the bell to ring. It eventually does. I sig. Let's get this over with, I suppose. Second class ended a little earlier than usual, mostly to make sure all of us got to Monika's memorial. I deliberately make the choice to be the last one out. Before I left through, my teacher asked me if I was doing okay. I knew that the rest of the school knew about me and Monika, but I didn't realize that applied to the staff too. Of course, I told them I was fine. I'm fine. That phrase has lost whole meaning to me. It's nothing but a deflector at this point. I end up trailing behind the rest of my class until we reach the main hall. Gee. This is not a hall. Unless your school hall has two basketball stuff. Dude, that's probably the gym. That's not the hall. Anyway, the hall is packed. There is Monika. Probably the kanji means Monika. I don't know. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not saying shit. But I think so, yeah. No, that's not the kanji for Monika, what the fuck? Nope, that's not the kanji. Hmm. I wonder what that kanji is for. With all respect, from the many faces I can see in the crowd, I can spot Sayori, Natsuki, and Ryuji. From the many faces I can see in the crowd, I can spot Sayori, Natsuki, and Ryuji. I am presuming Kotonoha and Kaho will make their appearance soon. As I'm looking around, I spot an empty spot next to Yuri. I rather sheepishly approach her. She glances at me but looks away just as quick. As I sit down, Yuri's eyes lock with mine. I see a seemingly apologetic smile on her face. My eyes just fixated towards the front of the room. There, on a large screen at the front of the room, is a photo of Monika. I can feel my chest getting a little tighter just looking at her. Seemingly to sense this shift, Yuri gently rests a hand on my wrist. I slightly wince in response, causing Yuri to look away with a more concerned expression. But what is it? She goes to say something but stops herself. Presumably she was going to ask about my arms. Eventually, though, she speaks up. Are you still mad at me? You know, about this morning. What? Yuri, I wasn't mad at you. I think over what happened this morning. Is that really how I came off? I wasn't mad, I was just surprised. Ah, regardless, I'm sorry about this morning. Not wordlessly before speaking again. Once more, my voice is monotone. You don't have to apologize. My eyes don't leave Monika's picture. From the corner of my eye, Yuri looked towards the picture and then back to me. She then places a hand on my knee. She speaks softly. We'll get through this together, Luke. We lock eyes for a moment. Before I can say anything else, though, someone at the front of the hall clears their throat over the microphone. The pair of us look forward. Looks like the memorial is starting. Several minutes drag on, each one feeling more and more like an eternity. Staff members of the school council and other assorted students come up to talk about Monika. Whether it's about how she was in class or how they met, or some other memory associated with her, the story keeps coming. The stories keep coming. I know their intentions are good, but the whole thing is just another painful reminder that she's gone. I keep pushing through the myriad of emotions and thoughts. Grief, anger, guilt. There's too many to list. One thing that is a constant thought is the undying feeling that I'm going to be sick. By some miracle I'm able to hold back my tears. Tears I so desperately want to release. I do have to wonder though. I'm another life in another life if I would been with either Yuri, Sayori or Natsuki and they suffered the same fate, would the school care this much? They did they even care about Monika? Like, did they genuinely care? Or is this whole send-off just another display of false sympathy? Like I need to hear any more of that. They didn't know her like I did. My breathing quickens, catching my attention of some of the students near me, especially Yuri. I try to fill my head with happy thoughts to keep myself sane, but that's the issue. For every happy memory I have with her, it all keeps leading up to that day. Thankfully, it all soon comes to an end, and I get up to leave. On the way to the hall, each student is handed a pamphlet about mental health. Well, one mostly about depression, with a bunch of suicide prevention outlines at the end of it. I appreciate the sentiment, but what Monika was going through went beyond that. Whilst everyone else heads back to whatever class they had, I decide to skip the class entirely. Oh, I remember it all the way. It was also on the Fruits of Literature Club, where they kept Yuri. I remember this. Soon enough, I find myself at the stairwell that leads up to the roof. Before I can walk up, though, I hear a voice call my name. Luke. I turn around and see Natsuki running up towards me. She wears a look of worry. Let me guess, Yuri told you I seemed off, and you wanted to check up on me? Natsuki taken aback by my blunt delivery. Well, yeah, I figured as much. I sit down on one of the stairs and look down at the floor. Natsuki sits down next to me. I still remain silent. She nudges me. Please say something. I look up to meet Natsuki's gaze. My eyes glassy, I shake my head. What's there to say, Nat? I get up, still keeping my eyes on Natsuki. I gaze up to the stairs. It's only a quick dash up to the roof. No, not now. Too public, too messy. I'm in my daze. I don't even realize that Natsuki had grabbed a hold of my blazer. Please don't. Her voice cracks. Either a coincidence or she somehow knows what I was thinking. I tend to face her only for to close her eyes tightly. Natsuki? I wasn't gonna. I go quiet. Even now I'm lying through my teeth. You're not gonna lose me, Natsuki. I hope not. Natsuki looks back at me, tears streaking down her face. I've already lost one friend, Luke. I don't think I could handle losing another. She stifles a sob as she catches a step away. Even now, in this state, I can't even truthfully tell her that I'll be okay. Despite how I try to come off, I'm fully aware that I'm not okay. And the voice in my head only makes it worse. I barely make eye contact with Natsuki as I speak up again. You want me to walk you to class? She nods sadly. We then start slowly walking together. The rest of the school day drags. Even class, that would be quite lively, felt more somber. My mind keeps replaying the events of the past few days and weeks. From the outside looking in, it might not seem like a lot of time has passed, but for me it felt like a lifetime has dragged itself by. Minutes feel hours, hours feel like weeks, weeks feel like years, and all because of just one day. The day my life was flipped upside down, and all of this needless prodding from the other students and staff isn't helping. False sympathy, that's all it is. For the second time today I'm overcome with a sense of sickness, with a deep pit in my stomach. My breathing goes deeper, my body is trembling. I start tapping my middle and index finger against my desk. I'm getting restless. I get my bag from under my desk and stand up. As I do so, the rest of the class focus their attention on me. Luke, are you okay? I look towards the teacher, my body is still shaking. Yeah, I'm just not feeling too well. I then head out of the class and straight for the bathroom. Upon entering the bathroom, I immediately dart into one of the stalls and violently puke into the toilet. I reach it reaches a point as I start to feel a cramp in my stomach. God, you really are pathetic, aren't you? Shut it. I grumble to myself as if the voice in my head is just another person. Thank God I'm alone in here. I don't need anyone else thinking I'm crazier than they probably think I am. After a while I manage to pick myself up, but I don't move from the stall. I just stand there wondering what to do next, and then shut the stall and the door and lock it. With shaking hands I take off my blazer. I then unbutton my sleeve cuff and roll the sleeve up, revealing the bandages. I brush my fingers up the wrap until they reach the end and at the end where I cut it off. I breathe to a partly open mouth. Do it. I carefully grab the edge of the wrap, only to let go soon after. No, I can't. Do it. No one's here to stop you. As my mind eggs me on, I start to unwrap my arm. My arms are soon reunited with the aftermath of my many restless night. A sea of shades, some fresh, many in various states of escaping. It pains me to look at it. Christ, what would Monika think of this? I don't know what compels me to do so, but I run my thumb against some of the scabs. I then dig my fingernails into one of them. I wince, now breathing through my teeth. Quick stalling. Fucking do it. The bell then suddenly rings. To my surprise, I end up yanking one of my more recent scabs and clean off. Ah! I bang the back of my head against the stall wall in blind frustration. As a slight bit of blood starts to trickle from the reopened wound, I yank my sleeve down and pull my blazer back on. I then grab my bag and unlock the door and start my journey down to the Literature Club. Is that a good idea? I don't think so. The walk to the club was a silent one. I ended up being more of what it was like this morning. Just an endless sea of eyes all watching me. Is this how it's going to be from now on? Because that's the impression I'm left with after today. I'm already I'm bloody sick and to death of it. I open the door to an empty clubroom. The only other presence that greets me is the sparse sunlight piercing from the clouds and the muted pitter-patter of the rain outside. I sulk towards the desk closest to the closet and sit down. I stare blankly out of the window, silently watching the rain trickle down against the window pane. I shouldn't have come back. The only response I get is the deafening silence. If only my mind was just as quiet. I know what it's beckoning me to do. I can't give in. Not again. Even though you eventually will. Leave me alone. I plead with my mind to stop. My head then snaps towards the door as it opens. It's only Yuri. She seems deep in thought. When she opens her eyes, she averts her gaze just as quickly. I return to gazing out the window. The rain seems to have calmed down for the moment, but the clouds remain. My attention is then brought back into the club by the sounds of Yuri's approaching steps. How are you, Luke? I shrug. Isn't the answer to that obvious enough? I'm fine, Yuri, I really am. You don't sound too confident about your answer. She averts her gaze once more as I sig through a parted mouth, looking out the window once more. I saw how you were doing the memorial. I know, Yuri. You couldn't keep your eyes off me. I am trying to look out for you, Luke. I go to say something but stop myself. At least I end up snapping at her. Why am I getting like this? She's done nothing wrong. I remember what I told you this morning. We'll get through this. I know this is going to be difficult, but I promise you that we'll get through it. After she finishes, she smiles bashfully. It's a nice sentiment, but I open my mouth again. Does that we include Natsuki and Sayuri? Or does it include us too, Yuri? She falls silent as my voice shows a sign of cracking. I didn't mean to shout. You've got the wrong idea, Luke. Of course it includes the others. I look away from her, singing quietly. I'll admit, I was a bit hesitant to talk to you after what happened. But that was the most because I was worried that I was partly responsible. You weren't to blame, Yuri. I sig. I would say it was her father, but I should have done more to get her out of there when I realized what was going on. You can't blame yourself. You didn't know what she was going to do, that she was going to do what she did. But I knew how her father was threatening her. I could have called the police. I could have tried to have her stay at mine until we got our own place. I could have done anything but let her stay with them. And now I can't even get her out of my fucking head. As I shout, my voice finally cracks. Do you even know what it's like to lose someone like that? Someone you loved, someone you knew was struggling. But since things were doing just fine as far as you two were concerned, you didn't bother trying to help them? That's what it feels like, Yuri. You don't have to live knowing your selfishness killed the one you loved. But I do, because I didn't do anything but stand there trying to make us look like the perfect couple, trying to pretend that she wasn't constantly being abused and was losing sleep because I was scared. And I was losing sleep because I was scared. In a way, it feels like I killed her, all because I was too stupid and lazy to do anything. My chest is frantically rising up and down, and my hands are shaking. Yuri looks at me in complete shock. I can't even look her in the eye. What could I do after all that? Instead, I just stare towards the front door. In the front of the room. I'm sorry for yelling, I'm exhausted, Yuri. It's all just so bloody exhausting. Barely holding back the tears, I turn my head to face Yuri. To my surprise, she then approaches me and crouches to my eye level. That's why I'm worried about you. I truly want to help you, Luke. I shake my head and my eyes not leaving hers despite my tears starting to fall. And there's no point. Even if you tried, it wouldn't change a thing. I've already hurt everyone enough. I don't want you to waste your time and energy on me. Yuri 6. Can I ask you something? I shrug once again. I guess. She gently grabs hold of my hand again. Instead of pulling away, I look back at her gentle violet eyes. I know it might seem a tad direct, but how did it start? How did what start? The cutting, Luke. How did it all begin? My body freezes up. I'm not cutting. I shake my head in denial. Yuri squeezes my hand gently, silently calling my bluff. If it helps to make you feel more comfortable, I still have some scars on my own. My expression shifts into one of disbelief. You do? She nods at my unintended admission. It was before you were part of the club. I used to be absolutely awful for it. Even to the point where I had become my go-to coping mechanism. But I was eventually able to confide in Monika about it, and she was able to help control those urges. I returned to looking out the window and nod to myself. After a moment, I tilt my head and my eyes flicker back towards Yuri. Who told you? I mumble under my breath. Pardon? About my arms, Yuri. Who told you? My tongue gets snappy. As Yuri stalls, the door opens. Sayuri and Natsuki walk in. Sayuri's face dropped as soon as she saw me staring back at her. I glanced back at Yuri and she nods. I raised from my chair, causing her to look away. Sayori. My voice trembles, sounding more like gravel and verging on becoming frustrated growl. You told. She seemed to growl. The seeming growl softens to a whimper. There was silence for a moment. Silence apart from the pitter-patter of the rain outside. Did you? In the heat of the moment I raised my voice with a very faint crack. What follows is more silence. She did, yeah. She told me too. We're all worried about you. You need help. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Natsuki whimpers as she speaks. I find myself glaring at Sayuri in complete disbelief. There's a few thoughts swirling around in my head, but each and every one of them are fragmented and scattered. I take a step back and shake my head. Eventually one thought sticks out from the whirlpool. I look between the three of them, each of them in various states of upset and distress. But I can't stay. I see and look down. Fuck this. I'm done. Without another sound out of anybody, I fetch my bag, sling it over my shoulder and head straight to the door. I get about halfway down the hall before I hear the clubroom door swirl open and footsteps bolting down the hall. Look, wait up. I keep walking. Sarah then calls out of me again. I ignore her once more, still walking. I then feel her grab my shoulder. In response I spin around. The suddenness of my movement startles her. Look, let me explain. Explain what, Sayori? That I trust you with something personal only for you to tell everyone else? I didn't want them to know. Hell, I didn't want you to know. Look, I told Nat and Yuri because I'm scared. They are scared. Christ, we're all worried about you. I scoff. Yeah, so worried you'll go behind. So worried you'll go behind my back and... What was I supposed to do then? Let you keep doing it like this, like there's nothing wrong? Because it's starting to feel like you've grown numb to it. I remain silent, neither confirming or denying that last part. Please, look, we're only trying to help you. I know. Don't you think I realize that? I know I need help, but for you to go behind my back and tell them something that you swore was a secret. Yes, look, I'll admit that I should have done better. But with how erratic you've been, they would have found out eventually. I huff in a manner of I know fully well comes of an uncharacteristically arrogant of me. Yeah, like that helps. For fuck's sake, Luke, just listen to me. We can't help you if you keep shutting us out all the time. I jolt back a bit in surprise as she yells. Sure, she has sworn before, but never with this much intensity. Yeah, she's not one to swear. Her tone then suddenly shifts to a softer tone. Look, you're like a brother to me. Seeing you like this, well, it breaks my heart. You're reminding me of how I was. With that last sentence, her voice becomes a trailing whisper. There's then a silence between us for what feels like forever. Please, say something. I shake my head and start to walk back from her. Luke, where are you going? I turn on my heel and start walking faster. It doesn't take long for Sayori to catch up with me. She pulls me by my sleeve. Luke, please don't let me go. Sayori lets go and slinks back as my voice breaks with it almost sounding like a whimper. After a moment of just standing there in stunned silence, I just continue walking until I'm out of the building. I don't plan on coming back. That's for the best, probably. Once I'm in my room, I sling my bag down against my cabinet. Then I slump onto my bed, face first into my pillow. I scream into it as hard as I can, the pillow acting as a decent seal around my mouth. Eventually, though, my screams devolve into sobs. That's right, lay there and mope. That's all you're really good for, isn't it? As the voice inside my head continues to batter me, I'm eternally damn myself for how I act back at the club. Before I was upset at Sayori, but I didn't need to raise my voice. Sure, I was upset at Sayori. I'm such an idiot. I start to smack my head against my pillow. I'm such a stupid fucking idiot. I should have listened to Sayori yesterday. It was a bloody mistake going back. God, why do I have to be so fucking stubborn. Breathe out of my mouth for a bit before turning around and look up at the ceiling. My breath grows shallow, and my vision becomes blurred. I'm getting exhausted soon enough to let the exhaustion overcome me. I don't even care for how long I'm out for. I just need to rest. Need a therapist. Tempus edax rerum. What does that mean? What does it mean? What is it? Wait, tempus. There it goes. Time that devours all things. Oh. Time. It catches up with all things in the end. It knows not reason nor rhyme, nor does it care for those who try to defend. It's a phantom devouring all in this path. I won't let it catch me. Fall from high rise. I wouldn't be seen till sunrise. Leap in front of a train. It could be quick, efficient, void of pain. Slice my throat wide open with a knife. I may writhe in pain. It all runs through my head. Alas, time still looms overhead. I need an out. I'll see you soon. I'll outrun time before it can devour me too. I opened my eyes once more. I groggily grabbed my phone and turned the screen on. 2:42 a.m. I let it fall back against my cabinet top as its dim light slightly illuminates the room. Rather sluggishly I start to get up. Once I'm out of bed I just stand there for a bit. I must have woke up about 3 times after I doze off. Even then my limbs feel numb. Wiping my face with my hands I make my way to the bathroom. I flick the light on and immediately head to the sink. I run the tap so that the water is as cold as possible. After a couple of minutes I move my face closer towards the sink. As I splash the icy water against my face I feel a chill shoot down my spine. Oh well, at least I'm actually awake now. After I dry my face I look up to meet my pale, unkempt, unshaven reflection. I stare, and it stares right back. To some degree I can hardly recognize the figure in the mirror. I slowly breathe out of my mouth. My subconsciousness takes over for the umpteenth time. Look at you. You're disgusting. Nothing but a shallow, miserable disposal husk of a person who convinced yourself you were. Because in the end, you're still that same moppy little fucker you were years ago. I look down towards the bathroom drawers. I open one of the drawers. Peering into it I notice some mumbled phrases. Just break the plastic to get the plate out. Are you seriously that desperate to see Monika again? I slam the drawer shut. I hold my eyes shut. I need to see her again. Yep, you're desperate. Look back up at my reflection. It stares back at me in disgust. Just leave me alone, please. I need this. Of course you do. Siri was right. You have grown numb to this. Keep her name out your fucking mouth. Getting mouthy, huh? You've been doing that a lot lately, haven't you? Especially at Siri. Just how the hell has she put up with you for this long? I bite my lip tightly. I begin to mumble to myself. Get out of my head. Please, just get out of my head. My reflection simply laughs back at me and my pleas. The dry crackling laugh echoes around the confines of the room. Eventually, though, aside from the faint noises emitting from the water pipes, it all fell silent. I start to step back from the mirror, my breathing slowly becoming more and more erratic. My fingers start to twitch. The voice in my head whispers to me, "If you're going to do it, then hurry up. Get on with it." I then turn to head back to my room. My erratic nature throwing me off balance, I wobble my way back to my desk. I managed to grab a hold of a paper I had scrawled onto whilst I was awake after my initial rest. I wouldn't really call it a poem, it's more akin to the tangent of a man at war with his own mind. Though couldn't that be said of most poets? My eyes frantically scanned the scribbled lines within upon the paper until my eyes fixate on one line in particular. I repeat the line and its proposed scenario multiple times in my head. Quick, efficient, void of pain. In short, the out I'm looking for. The train station only about 20 minutes away from the school. Better late than never, I suppose. Letting the paper drift out of my hands, I rush to get my jacket from the back of my door. I already ended up passing out in the shirt and some jeans late yesterday, so that's one step out of the way already. After zipping myself up, I get my trainers and head towards the door. Before I head downstairs, I stand in the doorway for a brief moment. I process my intentions before casting any immediate doubt aside. What's the hold-up? You said it yourself, you just need an out. So get on with it. Nodding to myself, I head downstairs and unlock the door. Oh, God, no. Who's gone to see him this time? I step outside. It's quite chilly out, rather so for summer. Then again, if it is the middle of the night, so it does check out. I close the door, not bothering to lock it. I turn to my left and my eyes dart on Siri's house direction, focusing on their bedroom window. It seems her light is still on. I try to keep walking, but I can't keep my eyes off her window. For a moment I swear I see a flash of coral pass by. Whether that's actually the case or a result of my lack of sleep, I'm not exactly sure. What I am sure of, though, is the spit forming in my stomach, though it's not the usual sick feeling I've been getting for the past few weeks. I make an attempt to press on my plan, but I just stand there, frozen in place, frozen in time. Minutes pass, each feeling like hours. Eventually, though, I bring myself to move once again, but I don't continue on the intended path. I end up rushing back inside. And despite feeling dizzy, I stumble my way into the kitchen. I lean against the kitchen counter, breathing heavily as a hot flush overcomes me. Just what the hell was I thinking? After a few more moments, I head towards the fridge, open it, and my eye drifts towards the glass bottles. Ah, I see how it is. You would rather drink your life away. I ignore my subconscious as I grab a hold of a half-empty bottle of sake. I have never really been much of a drinker, but I guess that can change. I open the bottle and put it to my mouth. My nose catches a slight fruity scent. I take a swig and almost immediately spit it out. Fuck me, that's bitter. Christ, how can Mamoru drink that? I leave the bottle on the side for a while. Soon enough, though, I pick it up and attempt to drink once more. The bitterness remains, but I manage to drink more of the bottle. It doesn't take me long to finish it off. I go to leave the now empty bottle on the side, but my grip ends up slipping. The glass scatters as the bottle smashes against the lemon flooring. I stare down at the mess shortly before heading back upstairs. Wait. I get up to the hallway before I stop in my tracks once again. Multiple thoughts pollute my mind. The vast majority of them would concern those around me. Hell, they even concern me. The thoughts keep swirling as I make a quick detour into my bedroom. It's a quick trip as I retrieve the knife in my drawer, the same one I used each time before. It's still stained by the slight blend of my dried blood and tears. I hold it up to my eye level, my breathing growing deep and shallow the longer I gaze at its steel blade. I return to the bathroom and lean in front of the mirror. My eyes fixate on the sink, then occasionally flickering into and from the knife. It feels like my arm just waiting for my brain to send the signal to send it on its way. Even now I'm trying to resist that urge, even though in my heart I know that the slip could merely be a moment or so away. It's just the question of when that moment would exactly be. I twirl the hilt around in my clenched palm. I breathe in and out as I try to contemplate every possible scenario, but it's like a storm in my head, with every thought reaching out and gasping for air. Inhaling deeply, I press the blade horizontally against my skin. My hand trembles and my breathing grows shakier. Do it. Don't keep stalling, Luke. I press it against my arm harder, definitely leaving a mark of some sort. Still neither hand nor knife budge. Doubt re-enters my already swarming mind, causing me to second-guess myself. I, you what? Afraid to fulfill what out you wanted? My arm falls to my side, my hand still tightly holding the hilt. You're right, I am afraid. Afraid of losing everybody I've got here. Ah, yes, the same people you're pushing away by any chance. I'm silent for a moment. I know the voice is right. I just want to see Moni again. Is that too much to ask? Again, with this Monika shit? How much more are you gonna keep going on about her? It was always Monika this, Monika that. I love her, okay? But nothing, Luke. Just come back down to earth and stop yelling at yourself in the mirror for once in your miserable life. She's gone. You need to move on. You were there when she got buried, Luke. Stop being in fucking denial. I slammed my fist against the mirror in rage over the voice in my head. That was the clearest it's ever been. Something then hits me. All these thoughts I've been having. I've been vocalizing them all this time. I shudder at the thought. If I'm only noticing this now, just how long have I been like this? For as long as you've been hearing voices, Luke. I look blankly at myself in the mirror. I'm exactly the voice previous who described me. Well read how I described myself. A husk. I then rest my hands on the cabinet under the mirror, relaxing my hands and letting go of the stained kitchen knife. I then, after what feels like forever, my eyes drift down to the drawers. I opened one I had earlier and pull out a small box. I lay it near the sink and frantically open it. It contains a collection of razor blades in the small plastic holders. After picking one out, I fumble with the plastic. Eventually I'm able to free the steel from its feeble confinement. In my hands now I have a small and surprisingly cold blade. My hands are trembling and sweaty, but I manage to hold it. I raise my left arm and stare down towards it, focusing on both my hand and my forearm. My eyes trace my veins through my skin. It doesn't take long for me to put steel to skin, placing it edge just under my hand. The touch sends a small bit of bile up my throat. I close my eyes in hopes to quell any and all apprehension I may have. I breathe through my teeth as I press the furthest corner of the small blade deeper into my skin. I start mumbling uncoherently for a moment until I start to whisper in full sentences. Come on, Luke. Just one swift, effortless slice. That's all it takes. Then you'll get with her again, just like you wanted. I bite the inside of my lip as I press the blade even deeper. I know shouldn't be doing this. Christ only knows what Monika's thinking right now. I know I want to be her again, and if this is the quickest way to achieve that, then to hell with it. My breathing and my heartbeat start to relax as I focus. In hesitation now is expelled from my body. My slower heart acts like a metronome as I ready myself. Just one slice. I gulp, still holding my eyes shut. Just one slice. My hand shoots downwards down my arm. My flesh shows slight resistance, but it ultimately proves futile. However, it doesn't stop there. It gets to the point where my hand feels like it's grown a mind of its own, and the same vein flesh becomes more acquainted with metal. I exhale, dropping the blade on the floor as I do so. However, I keep my eyes shut. Everything falls silent, aside from my soft breathing. That breathing suddenly stops as I feel something warm begin to trickle down my arm. I open my eyes as I look down my left arm. My eyes are met with a steady stream of crimson running down and dripping slowly on the floor. The more I stare at the sea of cuts and slashes, the more my arm throbs and my chest soon gets tighter. It's okay, you've done this before, Luke. You'll live, and that cut will heal. Like it always does. I tell myself that, but there's never been this much blood before. With curiosity taking over, I run a finger up to my fresh wound. As I do so, I breathe a brief shallow breath through my slightly parted lips. My finger then stops just before my hand. Still curious, I prod where my veins should be. Doing so causes a bit more blood to spurt out, causing me to jump back a bit. I slowly start to hyperventilate. My quiet, hushed whispers coupled with the sudden reality of the situation bring me back down to earth. What have I done? My eyes light around the bathroom. The bandages are downstairs. Despite the sudden flurry of worries circling around my brain, my body still feels drained. Normally in situations like this you usually expect some form of adrenaline to kick in, or something like that, but no, nothing of that sort happens. I'm just left dawdling towards the stairs. I make it to the top of the staircase and attempt to walk down, but I can't bring myself to walk. A hot flush overcomes me, almost bringing me to my knees. I yelp in pain, and as I look down my arm, I'm losing more blood. At this point, some of it is even dripping onto a laminate floor. I bring myself back to my feet, and rather than heading downstairs, I head to my bedroom. I need to call someone. Quickly walking towards my desk, I pick up my phone. I hurriedly turn the screen on and go to my contacts. I tap the most recent one. I put it up my ear. It buzzes seemingly without a hand. Come on, please pick up. Luke? Siri's tired voice fills my ears. What's going on? Sayori, I go up. My voice is shaky. I fucked up. My eye starts to drip from my wound. Remain silent whilst the tone Sayori's voice plummets into concern. She's been concerned ever since Monika's death, but this is probably the most concerned she's been. At this point, it's bordering on panic. I'm coming over. Her voice noticeably cracks. Call an ambulance. I'm losing a lot of blood. Another odd flush overcomes me and my phone slips from my flattering gasp. My body starts to shiver as I collapse onto my bed. I end up having to use the end panel of my bed to give me semblance of support. My breathing becomes shallow and quiver for what it feels like the millionth time in the last couple of hours. I suddenly hear the door open up from downstairs. Luke? I try to get up from my bed, but my arms are feeling weak. As a matter of fact, my body is starting to feel numb. As soon as I hear Sawyer rushing up, I try to get in my feet once more. Alas, it's to no avail. Look, what's going on? Oh my god, look, what did you do? Her pained, borderline horrified expression burns itself into my mind as I freeze in place. My mouth drops slightly open and nothing but my shallow breath as a few hushed words come out. Sorry, I fall silent as watch her eyes trace the crimson trails I had from my carpet carry out into my bed sheets and lead up to the partial drenched arm. As her frozen eyes slowly turn towards me, I look away and my eyes move towards the ground. I lump forms in my throat. I really screwed up now, didn't I? My voice cracks a lot as I look back into Sarah's baggy sky blue eyes. Her eyes appear glassy, but the initial look of disgust having started to shift in sorrow. I can only imagine what she's thinking. Someone she's known since she was a kid, barely holding on because of his seemingly inability to move on? Surely one hell of a scene to walk in on. I shouldn't have asked you to come over. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking clearly. Tears start to pour and my vision becomes more and more blurred. Even now I still manage to hurt the ones I love. Guess I'm just doomed to keep doing that. As quickly as I look away, Sayori comes closer. She places a hand on my cheek, gently brushing away my tears with her thumb. I'm glad you did. I should have known it would get this bad. That look in her eyes is one of more than familiar with. Please don't blame yourself for this. This is all on me. I gently grab hold of her hand and move it from my face. Sayori, don't. Her eyes lock back onto mine and I fall silent once more. I can't tell whether it's because she might have known what I was going to say, or simply because I said her name, but her look was more than enough to hush me. My lip quivers. Where's your bandages? My voice comes out as a hushed shiver. They're in the kitchen. Sarah moves to my side. She proceeds to wrap one of her arms around my neck before hoisting one of mine under. Ours. Where are we going? We're going to get you wrapped up before the ambulance gets here. Not going to leave you here on your own. Her fiery eyes and furrowed brow plead with me to follow her. I then give a slight nod and we start walking. We keep walking. I grasp onto Sayori tightly. For all I know, I could black out and collapse at any given moment. All the while I swear my heart is slowing down. That's what it feels like anyway. Probably not. My head starts to feel lighter as we near the stairs. Sayori soon lets me go and hold onto the banisher for support. She looks back to me in a wary yet hopeful smile. Don't strain yourself, Luke. Just take my hand. She holds out her hand. After a pause, I start slowly raising my arm towards her. However, I end up collapsing. I groan in pain. Luke? Sayori rushes over me and, despite some struggle, is able to pull me up into sitting position. She keeps shaking me and asking me things, but I can't make out most of what she's saying. The world around me feels like it's slowly becoming nothing but blurs and muffled, indistinct sounds. I try to stammer out anything audible, but I can't. I can't tell if I'm convulsing, having a panic attack, or if I'm dying. I can't tell if I'm convulsing, having a panic attack, or if I'm dying. Soon enough I start feeling myself drifting off. In spite of what Siri somehow manages to come through. Please look. I don't want to lose you too. Despite my blurry vision I can still make out her pleading expression, but I still can't bring myself to speak. Not even a single word. I'm starting to go dizzy. Desperation seeming to take control of her, so Siri grips my shirt. Please, just say something. Her voice breaks as she begs. But her plea might have fallen on deaf ears. My heartbeat starts to slow down and I start to get this sensation that I'm flying at some degree. Despite that though, I start to drift off into unconsciousness. I think I hear them coming. Luke, stay with me. Luke! Don't tell me I'm dying. After what feels like an eternity, I open my eyes. To my surprise, I find myself in the rooftop. But it's not just any rooftop, it's a school roof. It's the place where both Monika and I spent most of our time, together aside from the club and outside the school. More than that, it's the place where we first confessed our love for one another. I smile to myself, but I can't help but feel a little curious. Why here? Why now? Am I dead? I bet myself, nope, seemingly somewhat alive. I look down towards my arms. Miraculously, the wound seemed to have vanished. As I let my arms relax and drop to my sides, I find myself walking towards the wire fence. Soon enough, I'm standing to face with it. I grab hold of the fence with one hand and I gaze out into the distance. The city still remains, and then I look down. Again, exactly as I remembered it. I breathe gently through my parted lips as I gaze longingly. I go to close my eyes and just soak into the atmosphere. However, I feel a finger tap on my shoulder. Ah! I spin around in shock. However, my initial shock quickly fizzles out as my eyes lay upon a face I've not seen in a good while. Monika? Hey, Luke. Oh no. It's been a while, hasn't it? Her voice is as gentle and soothing as I remember. My heart starts to flutter. Monika, my voice catches as I smile in complete disbelief. I'm seeing Monika again. I'm actually seeing her again. But at the same time, there is only one thing in my mind. Am I? Monika gently places a finger on my lips, causing my voice to trail off. And still she has that same gentle smile. No, you're not. I don't actually know how I would describe this place. Like it's just the rooftop and nothing else. Despite her initial light-hearted tone, I notice a heavy tinge of sorrow into what she's saying. Timidly approach her. Take her hand in mine, but my grip is furthest thing from firm. In honesty, my hands are clammy and shaky. I even tried to say her name, but it keeps getting stuck in my throat. Monika's gaze breaks into mine. Deep down I know this is art for her too. My grip falters, my arms fall into my sides. The longer I look at her, the more my heart aches. Shouldn't I be happy that I am seeing her again? I keep telling myself that I should. After all, this is what I wanted, right? Right? Monika. I whisper her name and her emerald eyes pierce back into mine, now being underlined by tears. Look, where do I even begin? No, scratch that. How do I even begin? She struggles to keep her voice steady. My eyes start to sting due to tears of my own starting to form. There are so many things I want to ask. What happened after she got back home that last day I spoke to her? Can't she see what's been going since she passed? But most importantly, why? All of these questions I can't bring myself to ask any of them. I just look at her and realize how much I've truly missed her. It may have only been a few weeks for some people, but for me it felt like a lifetime. I suddenly rush up to Monika, tears now streaming down my cheeks. I tightly wrap my arms around her in an almost vice-like grip, and bury my face against her exposed shoulder, holding my eyes shut as I do so. I lose track of how long I spent sobbing. I guess every single question I have, every memory we've made, and every day without her decided to amalgamate and come out all at once. I missed you, Monika. I miss you so damn much. My voice remains shaky and strained. Every night I keep asking myself what happened. I keep asking myself what I should have done differently. I keep telling myself I should have done more. Sweetheart, I know I could have done more. I could have done anything to help get you out of there, but I didn't. I was too busy trying to hide the fact that I'm a wreck. I caused Luke to stop. Monika's voice breaks as she wraps her arms around me. My voice falls silent as I start to feel Monika's heartbeat racing. Stop trying to blame yourself for something I chose to do. You weren't ever to blame for that. Then why, Monika? Why did you do it? She falls silent. Whether due to an unintentional aggressive manner I asked that, or solely because I asked in the first place, I don't know. Eventually though she breaks away from our embrace. I lift my head and open my eyes to face her. Monika looks off to the side, deep in thought. She takes a deep breath, partially audible. She takes a partially audible breath and then looks right back at me. I never planned to kill myself that morning, you know. Her voice catches. No one ever told you what happened, did they? Wordlessly shake my head. She sings remorsefully. After I got home that day, I found out that Dad had planned to send me overseas to a business school. I've seen the application in my name and everything. Obviously, I wasn't going to have that. We got into another argument. I accidentally broke my phone, and this time he hit me. Her voice chokes. I sheepishly approach her, but stop dead in my tracks as soon as she opens her eyes again. My own father told me he never even wanted me. That's how bad it got. She clenched her eyes shut, possibly to stop herself from crying, more than she was already. I just stand there in utter dismay. Monika, I'm speechless. I can't even tell her. I'm sorry. She can't tell me otherwise. It wasn't my fault. All she wants, but I can't help but feel otherwise. I just wanted to get out of there. I wanted to run. I just wanted to see you again. God, I felt so alone without you. She pauses and takes another breather. I can't think of a single thing to say. She presses on. I didn't even sleep that night. I just stayed up, worried about you and panicking about what I was going to do. When I woke up that morning, there was only one idea that came to my mind. Even if I did run off and stayed at yours, I would only be a matter of time till he would show up. I already hurt you enough, Luke. Hell, I've even been doing it after I've gone. Please, Luke, for the sake of your own well-being, forget about me. I've already made my choice. I don't let me keep dragging you down. Monika turns and walks away, her sobs barely concealed. My heart sinks. I can't just forget about her like that. After what we've been through? Not a chance in the world. Monika, wait up. I managed to catch up with her. She turns to look back at me. Her expression is teary and blank. My arms lay limp at her side. We stand apart for a moment before I sheepishly approach her and place my trembling hands upon her shoulders. I gaze longingly into her damp, yet still beautiful eyes, trying my hardest to keep myself together. There was no way I could ever forget about you, never in a million years. My fingers gently cascade down her arms, until I'm gently squeezing her hands in my own. I love you, Monika, I still do. Monika sings as she locks her fingers with mine. Look, I love you too, but you need to let me go. Besides, all I ever did was put you under immense stress. I dragged you along for the ride. I was selfish. I heard, Monika, please just listen to me. My voice suddenly shudderingly and barely above a whisper, but Monika is seemingly able to hear me. She falls silent, her eyes still shut. It is true. After I found out about your dad, I got worried. Some nights I did lose sleep because I was scared about what may or may not have been happening to you. But I promised that I would never give up on you, and I didn't plan on breaking that promise anytime soon. I never stopped loving you. My voice catches. Monika opens her eyes and looks deeply into mine. There aren't any words from either of us for a good while. Just the two of us together, locked in each other's gaze, with that lock only momentarily broken by our blinking. The only sound of surround us of the heavenly breeze that brushes our skins. Monika's lips then slowly curl to form a thoughtful, longing, and above all, gentle smile. Aside from the liquid brimming her eyelids, it's the exact same smile that she would give me during some of our more intimate moments. Quite honestly, I've missed that smile just as much as I missed the girl who it belongs to. I can't remember if I ever asked you this before, but why do you love me as much as you do? Even now, taking a deep breath, I think back at everything we've been through. Ultimately, my mind goes back to the very first day we got together. There's something that Monika said back then that was always kinda stuck with me. You let me be me. The more I think about it, I begin to realize that was also the case with me. I release my grip on Monika's hand and carefully rest my hand on her cheeks, much to her seeming surprise. I step slightly closer as I gently cup her face in my hands. Monika, before I met you, there was a lot about myself that I didn't really like. What the fuck, wait a bit. Monika, before I met you, there was a lot about myself that I didn't really like. Hell, there still is. I'm still awkward. I'm not exactly the most physically fit. Honestly, I'm quite bland if you think about it. I even have a struggle before I carry on. After the last school year ended, I kind of thought that would be the last time we would ever speak. Then I joined the leisure club and we started talking again. In a way, I was like, no time had passed. She smiles earnestly. With you, I felt like I could be myself. You didn't judge me for anything. I loved you for you, Book. That was always been the case. And it still is the case now. She then tightly wraps her arms around me, causing me to quickly retract my hands. Quickly adjusting myself, and I return my embrace. I lose track of how long we stayed like this. Once more, it's just us and the breeze. Again, it felt like ages since I've been like able to do this. I speak in a soft, almost whispery tone. I wish I could stay. Upon hearing that, Monika sings regretfully. I know you do, Luke, but you can't. It would be selfish for me to keep you here. Besides, you still got people down there that care about you. My gaze momentarily diverts from hers. But what about you? I'm not understanding I don't get shit of what's happening here. What the fuck? Are we still alive? Are we dead? What the fuck? Monika wraps her arms around me and moves her hands to my cheeks. I'll just be watching over you from up here. And I promise you, when your time comes, I'll be right here waiting for you. My eyes meet Monika's once more. You mean that? Monika pulls my face closer to her. She then speaks gently. I swear to you. We will see each other again. Yes! Oh yes, a thumbnail! Finally! I was thinking when it was going to happen. Dude, I love these drawings. Like, come on, I wish I could draw like this. Ah, give me a fucking break. Yeah, okay. She gently pulls my face as close as it can get towards and passionately presses her lips against mine. As I settle into the kiss, my body starts to feel lighter. A sensation I can only describe as electrical surges through my body. To accompany that, an overwhelming feeling of bliss and raptures. between both of us. It's peace, it's bliss, and at the same time, the feeling provides me a sense of hope. I don't fucking know what the fuck is happening in this mod anymore. Are we still alive or are we dead? I don't know. I hope that I will be able to carry on. I hope that I'll be able to recover. I know that there's always going to be a part of me that longs for what I could have had, what I could have been, and times where I wish she was still with me. If I can't live the rest of my life with Monika, then I'll live the rest of my life for her. Minutes pass by, and as they do, I start to feel another sensation. It almost feels like I'm drifting away. I start to become weightless. Eventually I lose my hold on Monika and her fingers slip from my cheeks. I soon get to the point where I'm surrounded by nothing but thick clouds. The only noise I can hear is slowly approaching muddled beeps. The beeps gradually become clearer and clearer until eventually I wake up. Hospital, okay, we are alive, but how? We fucking slashed our wrist open. What the fuck is going on? When my eyes open, everything is initially quite blurry. My surroundings quickly become more visible. It doesn't take me long until I realize where I am. I groggily look down towards both my chest and wounded arm. As I should have guessed from my location, I have an array of cables and tubes protruding from my body. If thousands of thoughts run in my mind in regard to what the doctors may have done to me whilst I was out. I shouldn't really dwell on it too much though. The important thing is that I'm still here. I then turn to my right, and there is a Sayuri that is probably asleep because you woke her up. There in a rather uncomfortable looking chair next to my bed sits Sayuri. Well, less sitting than she's pretty much asleep. At least I think so. Regardless, I can't exactly blame her. God knows how long she's been awake. I whisper to myself using Sayuri's internal muse. I'm sorry to put you through hell. I'm more than certain I'll have plenty of time to apologize. Look away from Sayuri and towards a small glass pane on the door. Every minute or two I can see people walking past the door. It seems quite busy out there, but I can't exactly be too certain. My attention is then brought back to Sayuri as she lets a loud albeit soft yawn. She stretches before opening her eyes and looking towards me. When our eyes meet mine, we simply stare at each other. She has a look on her face that I can't clearly make out. Is it surprise? Is it relief? I'm not entirely sure. As soon as that mild feeling of uncertainty starts to settle, a soft smile starts to form across Sayuri's lips. It's a very relieved looking smile. She gets up from her chair and starts walking towards me. She then speaks in a soft voice, yet very audible whisper. You're finally awake? She is soon standing right by my bedside, her eyes underlined by tears. I can't help but crack a smile in return. You know, I would hug you if it wasn't for all these cables. My voice sounds like my throat had been rubbed with sandpaper. I know, look, I do too. Sayuri falls silent as she seemingly contemplates. You're lucky to be alive, you know. Doctor said you would cut pretty deep. Hey yo, that reminds me of something that Natsuki said to Yuri. Oh well, definitely felt like it. I know. Sayuri looks off to the side and sings gently. She then looks back at me, uncertain of what to say. As always, I can't tell what she's thinking. There was more silence between us. Could she be waiting for me to say something? Whether she is or not, I think she's owed an explanation for what happened. I did bring her into this after all. I think I should explain myself. Sayuri remains silent. I'm not even sure if I'm going about this the right way. Out of the blue, a smile finds its way into Sayuri's lips as she squeezes my shoulder. It's okay, look. You don't need to say anything. I look her in eye in disbelief. That look quickly dissipates as Sayuri's arm lowers until she gently squeezes my hand into her own. No matter how long it takes, we'll get you the help you need. I know it's not gonna be easy. I know that too well. But no matter how long it takes, I'm not gonna give up on you. I promise you that. Her sky blue eyes glisten with tears, still smiling gently. I smile back whilst my own tear starts to form. Again, I want so desperately to embrace her. I eternally damn the cables that are practically holding me hostage, and then damn myself for being the reason I'm here. I squeeze her hand in return. Just from the look in her eyes, I can tell she understands. She might not understand everything about what I'm going through, but in a way she knows what I'm going through. I can't keep her here, though. you should probably get going. Eh? Could have worded that better. Wouldn't it be better if for you if you stayed here for a bit longer? Sayori, you'll be safe here. There'll probably be a nurse in to check up on me in a bit. Besides, you look bloody knackered. I know I certainly didn't help with that in the slightest. Also, I've got some stuff I want to think about. It's okay, Luke. I understand. I can always visit later. Please do. So, I guess I'll see you later then. Maybe tomorrow? I nod. Yeah, tomorrow should be good. As Sayori goes to leave, a thought crossed my mind. Though my slightly stained voice, I call out to her. Hey, Sayori? If it's not too much to ask, could you let my mom know what happened? Look, she already knows. The hospital asked if you had any relatives they could contact. You gave them your mom's number and thank you. You don't need to thank me. After once more smile between us, Sayori leaves. Once again I'm alone. I lay back on my bed. To no surprise, it's far from the comfiest thing in the world. But for now, at least, it will have to do. Whilst I'm laying here and staring at the ceiling, I think back to before I woke up. Back to my conversation with Monika. Even though I know it wasn't real, well, not real in the traditional sense, but it felt real. However, one thing that sticks out to me is one of the thoughts I had before everything faded away. I live for her. As I remember this, another smile forms across my eyes. Internally promise myself that I will carry on. It's not going to be easy in the slightest, but I've got people here for me. I can't let them down again. I will live on. I just need to take things one day at a time. Finally, 6 months later, holy shit, how much time he had to recover from that slash. As my alarm blares, I groggily open my eyes. I sit up, stretch my arms and yawn loudly as I turn off the damned noise. Then check my phone. 7:30 a.m. Pulling my sheets off, I get up from my bed and head straight for the bathroom. I step towards the mirror and stop to look at my face. Before I shower, I should probably shave. Gotta look presentable for the girls. I grab the electric razor from the drawer and get to work. It doesn't take me too long to finish up. After brushing off any remaining hairs, I get undressed and get ready to shower. As soon as the water has warmed up to my preferred temperature, I step in. Whilst the water soaks my skin, I think long and hard about today. It's a Saturday, but in particular it's the 20th of January, my 19th birthday. If you were to go back 6 months ago and tell me I would make it 19, I probably would have called you your bluff. But in retrospect, I'm glad I carried on in spite of everything. There were times where it was difficult, and God only knows where I'll be more times like that. But I'm still here, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. Eventually I stop the water and step out. After grabbing a towel, drying myself and unwrapping around my waist, I head back to my room. Upon heading back to my room, I start to walk towards the closet. Sayori said that she was planning something special for me today with Natsuki and Yuri. Natsuki seemed pretty busy last night, so that checks out. That being said, I shouldn't really dress too fancy. I pull open the door, I pull out a black shirt and some blue jeans. Is it generic? Obviously yes, but to some degree I wouldn't have it any other way. After I pull all my clothes on and make sure my hair is presentable enough, I head downstairs. When I get downstairs, my ears pick up the faint yet ever distinct rustling of plastic carrier's bag. Seems like someone's awake. Yeah, morning Nat. It still feels kinda weird that Natsuki is actually living here, but I suppose that after 3 months you kinda get used to it. Morning. Energetic as always, although that can of store brand energy drink on the counter might be the reason for energy at this time. Speaking of which, how long have you been up? You're never up this early on weekends. She scolds slightly. Oh well, there comes yet another comment about my snoring. I meant, since I think it's 6:30. Like, I sorted out most of the food last night. All I had to do was pack everything and just finish a couple extra little bits. That certainly works. She certainly works fast. I mean, your snoring didn't help either, but that's a given. I roll my eyes with a smirk as Natsuki gives a cheeky giggle. I saw it coming from a mile away, but I'll let her have this one. Given that Sierra mentioned coupled with all the food that Natsuki had seemingly made, it doesn't take me too long to put two and two together. So I'm guessing we're having a picnic. Yep. Now I know what you're thinking. Ugh. It's the middle of January, Nat. I'm gonna be freezing my nuts off. At least Sierra's impression of me doesn't sound as nasally as Natsuki's. Not to mention it actually sounds like me. But it's meant to be, but it's meant to be pretty nice today. Plus, come on, it's your birthday. I grin at her like a damn idiot. She doesn't seem to mind though. You want me to help pack the things? Nah, you're good. Besides, your history of packing bags. I would rather not, just to be on the safe side, you know? I sig despite her having a fair point. I was never the best at packing. After I made myself a quick cup of coffee, I head to the living room. And to pass the time, I end up channel surfing for a good while. Unsurprisingly, there doesn't seem to be much on it this time. I eventually just end up setting on a channel somewhere showing nothing but game shows. The one currently on reeks of the late 80s. 80s? Why did I say 80s? 80s. Though, who am I to call something out as being cheesy? It isn't inherently a bad thing, but still. A few minutes pass before Natsuki joins me in the room. Her eyes end up fixated on the plasma screen. Whether it's a show she's seen before or she's merely confused as to what the hell I'm watching seems to be undecided. The seeming almost silence is then broken by both small vibration on the sharp-like tone coming from Natsuki's phone. Not being a particularly noisy person, I don't ask who it is. Nosy person. However, she then taps my shoulder. It's Yuri. She's just going up to Yuri's. She shouldn't be too long. Given that I've never been over to Yuri's, I wouldn't have an exact idea as how long Yuri will actually be. More time passes. Eventually there's a trio of quick knocks at the door. I go to get up and to answer it, but Natsuki bolts up from her seat and heads to do instead. Yawning softly, I return my focus to the TV. It doesn't take me too long to hear footsteps approaching the living room. I spot Sayori out of the corner of my eye and stand up ready to greet her. With an excited smile on her face, she practically flies towards me and almost knocks me out of my feet, as she embraces me with a fist-like grip. Yeah, there's the birthday boy. Morning, Saya. I always forget how strong Sayori can be sometimes. As Sayori keeps squeezing me, I then hear a gentle giggle from across the room. Calm down, Sayori. I'm sure Luke's happy to see you too. Sayori releases me, allowing me to breathe once again. Sorry, Luke. I guess I kinda got carried away there. Don't worry, you're good. Air soon finds the way back into my lungs. Sayori flashes me a quick smile before being beckoned to the kitchen by Natsuki. Once Sayori is gone, only me and Yuri remain in the living room. It's been a while since we've been alone together. Whilst we stood there, Yuri averts her gaze and smiles, looking off to the side a little. Hey, been a while, hasn't it? My voice is more of a soft whisper, but a whisper I know that she can hear. It has been, yes. Your voice is just as soft. How have you been? Like, how's your first semester been? First semester's been alright. I'll admit I did struggle at first, as many of the course reading list was much more complex than what I have read in the past. But, hey, I did opt for a psychology major. She then pauses for a brief moment before smiling sheepishly. Besides that, I've been doing better. I've had a lot more time to myself since I've moved out. More time to think about how I am as a person. I know I've not been the easiest person. I am working to better myself though. I'm happy to hear that. Like, really, I am. My eyes flick back to meet mine and the small, admittedly adorable smile forms across her lips. Promise? I promise. Yuri smiles to herself, her cheeks being overcome with a slowly growing blush. I then hear footsteps coming towards the living room, this time accompanied by the sound of rustling plastic packs. Alright everyone, ready to go? There's a less than subtle ting of excitement to Natsuki's voice. Not that I can exactly blame her though. I am. Sarah beams in a classic Sayori fashion. I would like to head off too. Yuri's demeanor reverts to a more calm and collected one. That just leaves me. As happy as am seeing everyone here together in what feels like forever, my mind still reminds me that the sight in front of the shall, if in front of me, shall always remain incomplete. He's just there, staring me right in the face, almost like a jigsaw puzzle laying on the table with a single missing piece. And what's that piece for me? That's simple. It's Monika. It's always pictured her being here with me. Hell, I still do most of the days. Whilst I have been slowly getting better, the memory of what happened still lingers within me. Sometimes all I think about is you. Sometimes it's like an itch that can't be scratched, but an itch I can cast away on the back of my mind. But other times, it just dominates my day. Before the memories can once again cement themselves in my memory, Natsuki approaches me and rests my hand on my shoulder. Luke, you doing okay? Natsuki's soft tone pulls me back to reality. I then look back to her and my two other friends. All the three of them wear rather awkward expressions, as if they're wondering if they should say something. I quickly retrieve their potential worries. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's get going. The four of us then leave the house on a rather somber note. Come on, how much can you fuck up? Aside from brief bursts of small talk, the most part of the walk is accompanied by silence. I can't help but feel responsible for the current awkwardness. I could have sworn that I was starting to get better at coping with with what happened to Monika, but I'm starting to call that progress into question. Eventually a conversation starts to kick off between the girls, but I end up trailing along, borderline oblivious to everything going on around me. The feeling of a finger tapping my upper arm then suddenly yanks me back into reality. Huh? Hey! I look to my side, and Sayori is there to greet me with a rather sweet smile. She speaks in a soft whisper. You doing better? I nod with a slight shrug. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yep, really amazing. The look on Sayori's face tells me everything she's thinking. The pair of us continue walking, and that ever-present awkwardness still looming. As I look up, I notice that Yuri and Natsuki are engaged in the conversation. I exhale gently and see quickly after. Sayori looks towards me with the same downcast look on her face. It's Monika? And not silently. I know everyone says that she's here with me in spirit, and I do believe that, but I still feel lost without her sometimes, you know. Sayori stops dead in her tracks and turns to face me directly. I stop too, turning me to return her gaze. Look, no one's expecting you to just get over it. What happened just like that? To get over what happened just like that. She clicks her fingers to emphasize that last part. That's just unrealistic. I second look towards Nat and Yuri. They don't seem to have noticed the fact that we've stopped in the middle of the street. I'm surprised you still put up with me. I'm surprised any of you do. Look, you've got it all wrong. It's not putting up with you. It's being patient. Just like you were and still are with me. She then steps closer to me and softly squeezing my hand in her own. And we're still gonna be here for you, regardless of anything. An earnest smile rests upon her lips, and I smile back. The pair of us stand there for a little bit. I'm glad she's still a part of my life. To some degree, I can't imagine my life without her. Ever so slightly squeaky voice then breaks the silence. Hey! Sarah backs away, slightly flustered as an agitated gremlin approaches us. How long did it take to you and you realize that we weren't behind you? I was gonna ask for directions, and then I turned around and neither of you were there. Sarah giggles at Natsuki's expense. It's not funny. Yuri nearly started freaking out because she thought you ditched us. I wasn't actually. Natsuki chuckles mischievously after Yuri's seemingly rebuttal. I smile gently, laughing and rolling my eyes as I do so. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, on we go. After retracting Nat and Yuri's path, the four of us continue walking down. After what feels like longer than usual, we finally reach the park. Whilst there is still a gentle breeze in the air, there is also a light warmth. Let's finish this mod. We all walk towards the section of the park where there's one of those picnic tables you typically see at parks. As we each take a seat, Natsuki places her bag onto the wooden surface and starts unpacking the fruits of her labor. All of which might be devoured in a matter of minutes, especially if Sayori gets her hands on it. Ooh, yeah, I know it's a lot. Just try to take it easy, okay? As Ness continued to unpack, the remaining three of us simply wait in anticipation. Soon enough, the entire of our small feast is unveiled. Both Sayuri and Yuri eyes light up. I end up grinning at Natsuki like an idiot. What is it, Tommy? You know? You didn't have to do all this. Well, I wanted to do, so deal with it. Natsuki flashes a mere signature wide grin coupled with her typical sass. Just over half a year ago, Nat's sass would have probably ended getting on my nerves. If anything now, it's honestly endearing. Oh, so you're starting to like your stepsister, huh? Sure, she can still be a pain in the ass, but she's a lovable pain in the ass. Come on, what are you waiting for? Let's eat. With a gleam in our eyes, we start to eat. There's a vast selection of food available, ranging from simple sandwiches to delightfully fluffy onigiri, to a collection of cookies and biscuits baked by Natsuki herself. All of it tastes bloody brilliant, and judging by the looks on both Yuri and Sayuri's faces, I'm not the only one who thinks so. I'm starting to think that this fucking mod, it's an amazing mod, but I'm starting to believe that this fucking mod was made by British people. Because British people are the only ones that instead of swearing, say bloody. Like, you bloody bastard. Like they go, you bloody bastard, instead of saying, you fucking idiot, you fucking bastard, you piece of shit, you hypocrite, you motherfucker. No, they just go, you bloody bastard. And that's it. Give me a sec, I need to get my charger. Shit. There it is, I'm back. So, for all this time I passed making videos and the long videos I make, I should probably start streaming instead. I don't know. I don't want to lay off the videos. Well, let's keep going. And judging by the looks on both Yuri and Sayuri's faces, I'm not the only one who thinks so. After we eat some more. I break the near silence. So, I kinda asked Yuri about this, but how's uni been for everyone? Sayuri's the first to answer. It's going better than I thought it would. There are still some times where it gets a little... what's the word I'm looking for? Daunting? Yeah, that's it. But I'm getting a lot of help from my tutor and some of the new friends I made. And what about that Rio guy I keep seeing you with? Is he helping you? Sayuri sinks into herself with a slight smile hidden beneath a scarlet veil. Whoever this Rio is, it seems like Sayuri's taking a slight fancy to him. Oh, that being said, I'm certainly curious. Yeah, he helps me when he can. He's even saved my butt a couple of times. That same shy smile returns to her face. Natsuki then turns to me, a fox shock splattered on her face. Oh my god, look, you've been replaced. She burst into a fit of hearty laughter. No, it's not like that. Like, Ryo's nice and all, but he couldn't replace you, Luke. Some of the scarlet haze from Sayuri's face transfers to mine as I sheepishly smile. You're too kind, Sayuri. But, like, if you wanna spend time with your boyfriend, I can't really stop you. I chuckle a little at how defensive she's being about no replacing me. He's not my boyfriend. Well, there's certainly something going on between you two. You're by his side every other day. The smirk as Sayuri scolds at the pair of us. But Natsuki persists. Oh, come on. There's gotta be something you like about him. Ha ha ha. Nat's got her trapped now. Ha ha ha. You're next. I'm just getting something ready for what I'm gonna do next. I don't know. I'm feeling like drawing. So yeah, before you asked, yeah, I'm an artist. At some At some extent, let's say it like that. Not too good to be called an artist, but not too bad that I can like draw something. Well, he's nice, smart, very considerate. He's quite handsome too, not gonna lie. Oh. There we go. Nice and fancied up. What was that last part? I heard her clearly, but again, it's fun to tease her. Come on, man. And you didn't like to be teased when Monika was with you. Jeez, have shame on you. I said his aunt, what are you making me say? Both me and Natsuki burst into laughter, but soon enough we're joined by Yuri and her soft giggle. Oh my, I don't think I've ever seen Sayuri this embarrassed before. Stop it! We eventually all start teasing, still laughing a little. I then turn my attention to Natsuki. What about you, Nat? How's everything going for you? Oh, it's going great. Just great. You sound like you hate it. Well, hate would be a little bit of a strong word. I mean, it's a pain in the fucking ass, but it could be worse. Look to my right and see Yuri shaking your head, but still smirking. Let me guess, because you're a pro? At last, you finally admit it. That being said, honestly, I can't stand most of the staff there, especially some of them of the catering lot. They can get so full of themselves. Okay, anything that doesn't get you all riled up. Now that you mention it, yeah, I've met really awesome people. Like there's this one person I met called Azuka, and we get on great. And the best part is that we share all the same classes. She says that last with a sweet, almost sing-song tone. Once more I can't help but crack a smile. That's great to hear, Nat. I wish I had this much time to get to know people. To be truthful, I'm a tad bit envious. Don't be jealous, Yuri, I'm sure you'll find someone eventually. Look right, you know. You may still find some nice, slightly broody guy who'll read Stephen King with you. Whilst I appreciate the sentiment, I'm not in a hurry for a relationship. I know I said that I wish I had some time to connect with people. Don't get me wrong, I still do. But I'm certainly more content with the wonderful friends I already have. Yuri words and radiant smile sent warmth towards the rest of us. Sayuri looking up with a smile full of rice. Time passes, and eventually the feast Natsuki had made is reduced to a mess of leftover scraps and an indiscernible amount of crumbs. Not that any of us are complaining, we all enjoyed it, especially Sayuri. More discussion about the girls' time at the university issues, even resulting in some more bits of teasing over Sayuri, fondness for the ever enigmatic Rio. Of course, I'm eventually brought into the conversation. It's only natural, of course, especially as if I didn't end up going to uni last year. After everything that had happened, I wanted to better my mental state before I even contemplate going back to the education. Again, whilst there are brief moments where I experience mild relapses, I'm getting better. Yeah, I'll be sending in my application this summer, and fingers crossed, I'll be enrolled at HU for September. So that would be Hokkaido University. I'm glad. Honestly, it's been a little weird without you there. I scratched the back of my neck. I can imagine. I don't mean to pry, but how have you the past month been since you last saw each other? I can't imagine it's been easy. I think to myself for a little bit. Not particularly want to bring the mood down, but it would be a bit of disingenuous to ignore this question. I could be a little bit about it. Well, it's not been the easiest, but I'm getting better at managing everything. That's terrific news. Like, I know there will be times where it does get harder to forget what happened, but in my heart I know Monika would want me to keep fighting on. In a way, I think of it like she didn't stop existing when she passed on. I think of it like her spirit still watch over us, you know? Sorry if that sounds like overly cheesy or something like that. I wouldn't exactly call your thoughts cheesy. If anything, I would just say it's quite spiritualistic way to thinking. And I can imagine it brings you a great degree of comfort, yes? I notice I find myself smiling once more. It honestly does, yeah. Speaking of Monika, huh? Natsuki looks towards Yuri, who simply nods and goes to Sayori. I give Natsuki a rather confused look. What's going on here? You might want to close your eyes for this. What? Don't tell me! They're going to play a Ouija board! Gosh, I need to stop making dark jokes. But I can't. They are just so amazing. You might want to close your eyes for this. All the three of us worked pretty hard on this. Consider my curiosity piqued. I nod at Natsuki and she walks out of sight. I'm tempted to try to sneak a peek as to what they have prepared, but that would just be rude. Eventually I just close my eyes. After overhearing a short burst of whispers by the trio, I hear footsteps approaching me. Arms out. I comply with Natsuki's request, raising my arms up. Barely a few seconds, I feel a sort of fabric brush against my fingertips. It's a body pillow. Is that velvet? I firmly grip an object in my hands. Let me check something. I firmly grab the object in my hands. Can I open my eyes yet? Hang on a sec. More worried whispers ensue for a short moment. Okay, you can open them now. I exhale through parted lips before opening my eyes. I am immediately met by the sight of three of my closest friends giving me bright earnest smiles. Starry eyes then flicker down towards my hands as if they're guiding me where to look. Naturally I follow the direction and freeze in place at the sight they land on. My eyes are met with the sight of a light green velvet bounded book. The edges of the covers are lined with shiny gold border. To finish it off, there's text in the center that is embossed with the same material as the border. It reads, "Forever in my heart, Monika, here I." Find myself fixated on the book, but I briefly look up to the girls in a mix of awe and disbelief. Go on, open it. My eyes return to the book and I follow Sawyer's instructions. Upon opening it, my vision is filled with a myriad of photos of Monika at various points in her life, almost like a lifetime. Silently go through all the pages, going from her early years to what I presume her early teens, to even her 18th birthday. Obviously, I've been able to see her face since I last saw her, though the photos I took of us when she was still there. But there's something different about this time. Maybe it's because how much time has passed. Maybe it's because of the history these pictures hold. Or maybe something else I can't explain. Whatever it is, it just feels different. It's only when I go to the last couple of pages when I feel my chest tighten. The next few pages are plastered with photos of Monika and me. Some that I remember her posting online and even some I've not even seen before. There are even photo strip we took that time we went to the carnival. I can feel tears starting to well up in my eyes, but they are not tears of sadness, they are tears of joy. I then turn the next page. As soon as my eyes meet the last picture, everything comes flooding back. What is this? Another print screen. Interesting. Explain me this. If his mother is blonde, how come this motherfucker has brown hair? Explain me that shit. As soon as my eyes meet the last picture, everything comes flooding back. It's one of the first pictures that we ever had taken together, mostly thanks to Sayori. The three of us were walking together and Monika asked Sayori if she could take some pictures of us. This was always one of her favorites. I soon close the book just as I end up staining the pages. I keep it close to my chest as I look back up at the girls. Thank you. Thank you all so much. You're welcome. Moni's mom helped a lot with this. As soon as we told her what we had in mind, she loved it. She even put a bit of money towards getting it all sorted. Her me. I'll call her when I get back home. I turned the rest I turned and rest the book on the table before starting to walk towards the girls. Each of them gave me a slight perplexed look. I then outstretched my arms and cracked a smile, my eyes still damp. Sarah instantly knows what I'm getting at. She practically rushes to embrace me, shortly followed by Natsuki, and finally Yuri joins us. I tried to embrace all the three of them, but my arms barely reach around Yuri and Natsuki. Luckily for me, the three of them stay close, practically enveloping me. Sarah's grip is the tightest, as she was the first to embrace me, but both Yuri and Nat have one arm around me and another around Sayuri. Any sign of tension within me that still lingered from this morning has completely evaporated. I feel like I can let myself be vulnerable. It's something that I've slowly been learning to do again. I can't keep bottling everything up. I remember where that road led to, and I'll be damned if I let myself go down that path again. As Monika said to me, I've got people here for me. People that care deeply about me. I may not fully get over what happened all those months ago, but the best I can do is what I've been doing already. I'll press on. For them. For my family. For my own sake. And most importantly, for Monika. Epilogue. After submitting my final assignment of the semester, I shut the lid of my laptop and breathed a sigh of relief. In all fairness, I'll be more than a little surprised if it gets above a pass. Caffeine-fueled all-nighters seem to be my speciality lately. Well, I can worry about the state of my grades later. I've got more important things to do today, but first I need to bloody wash. I need a bloody wash, okay. I fetch a towel from my closet and head to the bathroom. As I get washed, I think over my plans for today. I'm gonna be paying Natsuki a little visit before going to see Monika. It's been a few months since I last saw her. Today marks 2 years since she passed. I take a deep breath through parted lips. It's unreal to think it's been that long already. Again, it feels like a lifetime has passed by. And in those 2 years, I wouldn't say I've gotten over it. Hell, I wouldn't say I've moved on completely. But it's progressively getting easier to cope with what happened. I eventually turned the shower off, step out and dry myself. I then wrapped my towel around me and head back to my room. Immediately going back to my closet, I pick up a pair of jeans, a shirt, some pants and a fresh pair of socks. After getting dressed, I stretch and yawn. I should probably make myself something to drink. Rubbing the excess sleep out of my eyes as I make my way out the coffee machine. I try to remember how exactly to use it. Sir told me enough times by now. It'll settle in eventually. After racking my brain for a little bit, I start to remember and get to work. As I fumble around with the coffee capsules, I hear faint footsteps coming down the hall. Either someone caught the scent of coffee, or I've been making way more noise than I thought. It could be both, who knows. Okay, wait a bit, I really need to be back. Sorry I took so long, I'm back. So, let's keep going. I turn around with a tired smile across my lips. Morning, Sayo. Morning. She returns my smile. I gesture towards the coffee machine. You want one? Oh, I love one. Alright, just make yourselves comfy and I will you one off. She then sits down at the table waiting for a drink. As I'm prepping everything, I decide to start some conversation with her. So, you sleep well last night? You sleep well last night? Yep, but it looks like someone was in a rush this morning. I roll my eyes and smirk as I finish up Sayori's coffee. I seek joking as I walking as I walk up to her and set a mug in front of her. Come on, I managed to get everything on time. Well, maybe with a few typos, but still. And she laughs startlingly. I wonder how many ways you've spelled definitely this time. I laugh a little louder and shake my head. Knowing my luck probably more times than I could ever admit to Yuri. Poor girl would probably have a bloody heart attack. Probably, yeah. I take a seat in front of Sayori as we sip our drinks in silence. Practically shrugged before opening my mouth again. You got any plans today? Sayori ponders for a moment, her fingers tracing the rim of her coffee cup. Well, I've got a job interview in, she glances towards the clock trying to figure out the time. It's at 1 p.m., so I've got a few hours to go. Oh, I've also got dinner with Rio late tonight. I crack a smile and chuckle softly. Honestly, I'm really glad you two get along on so well. So, Sayori, when do I have to start calling you Miss Marufuji? Sayori's cheeks turn scarlet as she bursts into laughter. Give it a few years and then maybe. Just maybe. My heart goes all warm and fuzzy. Sayori then rests her hand on my shoulder. I would ask you if you've got any plans, but I already know what you're on about. What? I wasn't born yesterday, you know. I remember what day it is today, Luke. I take a deep breath and nod. Yeah, 2 years already. Her face drops as I sig. I know I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I still miss her, you know. I miss her too, Luke. But I think you put it best. You put it best. She might not physically be here with us anymore, but she's still in our hearts. I smile warmly. She remembered what I said. Thanks, I needed a reminder of that. It's alright. Nodding at Sayori, I stand up from my seat and start to walk out of the kitchen. Before leaving, though, I stop it up for a moment. Hey, Sayori? I turn to Sayori and twiddle my thumbs a little. I know it's definitely a little... I know it's definitely a little tired to ask this by now, but... You want a hug? She hops up off her chest and holds her arm up. I smile sheepishly and nod. Please. Sayori practically bounces up to me and embraces me wearing a warm smile on her face. Can't thank her enough for sticking with me for this long. In all honesty, the road to recovery probably would have a lot less bearable without her. Eventually Sayori releases me and takes a step back. You'll be okay, Luke. I promise. Thank you. I then go to leave once again before stopping once more. Just gotta get something from my room real quick and then I'll be off. Alright. It's a knife. I quickly rush to my room and grab a few things. My wallet, my phone, earphones, and my jacket. My eyes then fall onto a folded piece of paper resting upon my desk. Something I wrote for Monika. Without hesitation I pick up the paper and slide it into my jacket pocket. Jeez, my throat is it's killing me. I then go to the front door and get my trainers on. After one last goodbye and wish of good luck to Sayori, I unlock the door and set off on my way. As soon as I step outside, I pull both my phone and earphones from my pocket. I plug my earphones and start to scroll through my music library. There's a myriad of music I could listen to for my walk to the bus stop, but after scrolling through the assorted abundance of electronic music, rock and early 2000s cheese, I finally find what I'm looking for. I press play. There it is. It's the track that Monika and I had started a good few months before she passed. I still remember that day well, especially now enthusiastic she was. how enthusiastic she was. It took a lot of willpower to do so, but I was able to finish it off. I reckon Monika would be quite happy with how it turned out. After a couple of deep breaths, I internally go over my plans. Meet up with Natsuki first, then visit Monika. I decide to send Natsuki a quick text and asking if she's still up to see me. Hey Nat, are you still good to meet up? I then slide my phone into my pocket and start my walk. After making it to the bus stop, I quickly check the timetable. Next one should be there in about 5 minutes. I guess I'll just sit here and wait. A little bit of time passes before my phone buzzes. I take my phone from my pocket, bring it up to my face and then turn the screen on. As I thought, it's a reply from Nat. Yeah, we're still good. See you soon. I quickly text back before sliding my phone back into hiding. Not long after the bus finally arrives, I get on, buy my ticket and then take a seat. After a lengthy ride, I find myself in a very familiar part of the city. It doesn't take me long to find my way. I eventually find myself in front of a relatively small cafe. The same cafe Natsuki works at. I peer through the window and sure enough I spot the pink-haired gremlin. Quickly taking my earphones out, I head inside. Cafe Memoria. Huh. Seems nice. It's a Portuguese cafe. That's Portuguese. Lol. Upon entering, I start walking over to the table where Natsuki sat, and I get close enough to tap her on the shoulder. Morning, Pinky. Ah, damn it, Luke, you startled me. Natsuki mumbles numerous obscenities under her breath as an audible chuckle emerges from behind the counter. I look toward the source of the laughter and, to no surprise, it's Asuka. I give them a quick wave and they wave back, still clearly holding in most of their laughter. As I take a seat, Natsuki still grumbles. Sorry for scaring you, Nat. Oh, you better be. Natsuki pouts and scolds at me. She stares at me for a little bit until I end up pulling some stupid face. At that point, she just bursts into laughter. It doesn't take long for me to start laughing too. How have you been, you big dummy? I've been pretty decent. How about you? I've been doing great. Definitely better without uni stressing me out. Natsuki dropped out to university a month or two after I started attending. Not only from when I saw her when I wasn't there, but also from my time attending, it all seemed to be dragging her down emotionally. Whilst it does feel a little odd not having my stepsister there with me and Sayori, I'm glad she's doing better. Out of the blue, Natsuki eyes then light up. I look behind me and spot Asuka walking to our table with 2 coffee cups in hand. They set 2 drinks at the table. Cheers, old stuff. Asuka visibly blushes as a result of Natsuki's compliment, smiling before they walk off. Wait, did you order these because I came here? Nah, they're on the house. Oh damn, Nat. Oh damn, thanks, Nat. I give her a cheerful smile. No need to thank me, dummy. As Natsuki and I catch up, more customers come and go. After some time, though, yet another customer arrives and walks past. My eyes catch an all too familiar shade of lavender. And judging by the gleeful look on Natsuki's face, she's seen it too. We wait for a bit as we then hear a familiar, gentle voice looking back as we do. After a couple of seconds, the lady turns around, and before then she notices, "Hey, Yuri." Ah! Yuri holds her hands against her chest as she collects herself. First time I've seen Yuri in months, and Natsuki almost gives her a heart attack. I give a quick look around to see if anyone else overheard Yuri's yelp. A few heads had turned to look at Yuri, but they look away soon after. Yuri eventually takes a seat next to Natsuki. Good morning, you two. Morning. Morning, Yuri. Been a while, hasn't it? It has been, yes. How have you been since I last saw you? Ah, I've been doing good. I've been sleeping up a lot less than I used to. So you've been out keeping me company a lot of the time. Rio too, whenever he pops over. How about you, Yuri? I've been a busy couple of months. It's been a busy couple of months, to say the least. I've been in a hurry to finish off all my assignments, and I got my final one this morning. So I decided that I would treat myself a little. Treat yourself? Yuri, you're a regular here. Natsuki then returns her focus to me. Oh, you should have heard some of the stories that she told me. She turns back to Yuri. Like those boys from last semester. Oh lord. Wait. Oh lord, damn. Huh? As Yuri ended up attending a different university than myself and the others, I am than the others. I'm a little curious. What about them? Well, they were saying some interesting things about me. Granted, it wasn't anything insulting or anything, but Yuri starts nervously feeling with the hair. Have you ever heard of fruits of Oedipus complex at all? Heard of what in the what for what? Heard of what in the what for the what the fuck? Let me guess. It's something. Fruits. It's spelled wrong. Wait, fruits. Oedipus complex. Okay. Oh. Oh, oh. Wait, but that is with parents. That is with parents. Yuri is not a mother. A mommy. What the fuck? Okay, I'll read what I saw. So, Oedipus complex is a psychoanalytic theory, a desire for sexual involvement with the parent of the opposite sex, and a concomitant sense of rivalry with the parent of the same sex. A crucial stage in the normal development process. Sigmund Freud introduced the concept in his interpretation of dream in 1899. The term derives from the Theban hero Oedipus of Greek legend, who knowingly slew his father and married his mother. Its female analog in the Electra complex is named for another mythological figure who helped slay her mother. So it's basically incest. Is that it? Inbred. My mind goes blank. I can't ever recall hearing about anything like that. They were calling her mommy, Luke. Oh, a mommy! Nasty blood explanation turns your face blood red and makes my eyes widen. Well, certainly didn't expect to hear that this morning. At least they are not calling Nasky mommy. I mean, she doesn't look like a mom. Surely there was a better way of phrasing that. Nasky lets out a short yet exceeding cheeky giggle as Yuri attempts to collect herself for the second time today. Yuri eventually exhales. To be honest, it did make for some halfway decent and anecdotal evidence for one of my essays. At least there was an upside of all of that. As the early embarrassment starts to fade, Asuka comes to drop off Yuri's tea. Them and Nasky exchanging smiles as they got back behind the counter. After Yuri takes a small sip of his drink, she looks over me with a tinge of curiosity on her gaze. Slightly cock my head to the direction. You okay there, Yuri? I am, yes. It's just, are you okay, Luke? Like, I know what day it is. I bite the inside of my lip and close my eyes for a moment. I then nod to myself and look back towards Yuri. I could be better, but I'm okay. It's still crazy to think it's been 2 years already. Like, that's just... Christ, I just don't know how to explain it. Yuri looks off to the side with a downcast look in her gaze. I didn't mean to bring us down. No, Yuri, it's fine. Monika may no longer be here with us physically, but there's something that Yuri reminded me of this morning. Hmm? It was something I said a while ago. It's not like Monika stopped existing. She's still in our hearts. And personally speaking, I think she would be thrilled that their 4 closest friends are still close. The 2 girls smile sweetly. I think so too. I don't hear you smile. I really wish Sarah wasn't busy this morning. She would have loved to catch up with Nat and Yuri. More time passes. Me, Nasky, and Yuri ended up exchanging some more stories on our post-high school lives. A couple stories from home and even the whole memory of or 2 about Monika. Eventually, though, I decided it's time to get going. I said my goodbyes to both Nasky and Yuri and then set off. In immediate retrospect, I probably would have been better to at least ask them if they wanted to accompany me. But I've got a lot of thinking to do before I get to Monika. Where do I begin? Oh, I already knew this was on this. One taxi ride and who knows how many minutes of walking later I find myself at the cemetery. As I start walking through the fields of familiar looking graves, I realize I've not been here since February. February 14th, to be exact, one of the many days I wish Monika was here for. Oh yeah, the Valentine's Day. I say to myself, oh Monika, I wish you were still here. I briefly reconsider my visit, but I toss that doubt asunder almost as soon as it creeps up. I briefly reconsider my visit, but I toss that doubt asunder almost as soon as it creeps up. I need to do this. Deep breaths, Luke, deep breaths. I follow my own advice for a few cycles before proceeding to my destination. After another few minutes, Monika's grave comes into view. As it does, so does Agony? Hmm? Oh, hello, Luke. She smiles towards me. I sheepishly wave back before replying. Hi. It's been a while. Here today, if I'm not mistaken. I nod. Of course, we've been sporadically keeping in touch over the previous year, but this is the first time I've seen her in person since the first anniversary since Monika's passing. How have things been since we last spoke? Oh well, it's been stressful to say the least. I mean, with the divorce and everything going on, it's hard, Luke. She sings heavily. The last time we spoke, she mentioned she was planning on divorcing from Daisuke. If you don't mind me asking, how would you take the news? I, she visibly shudders at this thought. I'd rather not talk about it. Ah, sorry. Yeah, brilliant idea, Luke. A sudden smile then returns to Harumi's face as she rests a hand on my shoulder. If it helps put your mind at ease, I'm staying at my sister's place for the time being. So I'm in a safer place than I was. I'm really happy to hear that, Harumi. And I'm certain that Monika would be happy too. She would be. Harumi smiles and falters slightly as she looks back at Monika's resting place. I turn to match her gaze and look down towards the stone. We just stay there in silently for some time. The coming breeze brushes against the pair of us. I reach into my pocket and gently grip a piece of paper. Can I confide in you about something, Luke? She speaks to me softly, her eyes still locked on the stone in front of us. Of course you can. She sighs before collecting herself. I know this is probably gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I think I hear her voice. And honestly, it does a lot to comfort me. My lips curl into a smile once more. I thought I was the only one. Harumi's arms drop to her sides, a smile still resting on her face. Our eyes lock for what feels like a good few minutes. She then begins to sheepishly approach me. Harumi then opens her arms and gestures for me to come closer. I do just that, and soon enough, she gently takes me into her embrace. We stay like this for a decent amount of time. In reality, it's probably only a few minutes, but regardless, it means a lot to me. Eventually, we release each other. I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but I've got to get going, Luke. But hey, maybe we'll see each other soon again. It would definitely be nice to meet up more often. Hell, it could even do a lot to fill in the gap that Monika passing led in our hearts. I think I would like that. I would too. After one last quick hug, we bid each other goodbye and she walks off. Whatever she has to do, I just hope she's okay. Now finding myself on my own, I turn and look back down to Monika's stone. As I gaze at it, time seems to slow to a crawl. Or at least that's how it feels. I take a deep breath. Hey Moni, it's me again. I know it's been a few months since we last spoke. Things have been a bit busy at me, uni. I paused momentarily to streamline my thoughts. Even though I've been here more than enough time, speaking to her like this never gets easier. Maybe it will do one day, who knows. Like I've submitted my final assignment of the semester. Now it's just to wait and find out if I'm moving on to the final semester. I haven't got round to finish that song we started for one of for one of them. Personally speaking, I think it sounds pretty good. I just wish you were here to listen to it though. I stop and sig. I need to try to lighten up my thoughts a bit. The girl the girls are doing well for themselves. Sari and Yuri are just wrapping up their final semester. Natsuki got a job with her partner. Heck, Sari even got a fellow now. I'm really proud with her, how better she's doing. Again, I just wish you were here to see it all. You would be proud of all three of them too, I reckon. I then stick my hand in my pocket and after a slight moment of hesitation I pull out the sheet of paper I brought with me. It's a little crumpled from the little journey it's had in my jacket pocket, but nothing too severe. I unfold the paper and silently read through it once or twice before looking back at Monika. I also tried getting back into poetry recently. I found a folder with a whole bunch of my old poems in it. There were even some of the ones you wrote for me. I smiled to myself, my eyes flickering first to the sheet in my hand and then back to the engraved rock below. I wrote you a poem. Like, I don't know if it's going to be any damn good. I suddenly got rusty after the literature club. God, I miss those clubroom days, I really do. Anyway, enough reminiscing. I need to get this over with. I bring the paper to my face and begin to read aloud to Monika. I know. You've been away for some time. I know. Months and months have dragged by. Me spending most of my time drunk and this I know. For days on end I wished your fate wasn't so needlessly screaming to myself, pleading to know why you had to go. Desperation began to grow, began to fester like the wound it was, and my mind went places I never knew it could even go. This I know. Years have gone by without you, the time learning to go on coating the old wounds with scar tissue. If asked back then if I would still be here, I would just say I didn't know. With you on my heart, though, I know I can. I read each line clearly with a degree of confidence I've not experienced for a while. Deep down I know it would be better after a rewrite or three, but I'm just glad I got something down. I fold the sheet back up and return it to my pocket before looking back to Monika. I hope you liked it, wherever you are. As soon as those words leave my mouth, my eyes start to water up. Despite that, though, I'm not crying. I slowly approach the headstone, and when it gets as close as I can, I rest my right hand upon it and look to the sky. As my eyes meet the vast space above me, I notice that the clouds have started to clear up. I breathe gently. For the first time in what feels like forever, my head is clear. I feel as if I can focus so much so that I swear I glimpse Monika herself in the sky. I can't see shit. Literally, I can't see shit. Was it a mirage? Perhaps. Whatever it was, it gives me a semblance of peace. Whatever she is, I know she's watching over me. I know that the time we shared together wasn't anywhere close to how long we wanted it to last. But despite that, I'm glad she chose to spend that time with me. And in that time I learned a lot from her, and at least to me, I think I've become somewhat better person. Is it cliche to say? Whether or not it's seen as such, I don't exactly care. Monika, I loved you, and I still love you. And for all I know, that love will remain years from now. I don't know when I'll see you again. However long it takes, I'll be here waiting patiently for my time. Because in spite of the lengthy wait that awaits me, I know you're waiting somewhere out there for me. Somewhere out there on the other end of the horizon. Doki Doki Within. This was amazing. Created by Callum Bespone Bagshaw. Okay, written by the same people. Doki Doki Literature to Global Original by Team Salvato. I wonder if they had something to do with this. Original DDLC, DDLC plus artwork by Setchally Lonchiti Lucilia. Original DDLC music by Dan Salvato. Additional music covered by... yeah, okay. Arumian Dice character art by Stormblazed76. Additional character artwork by... okay. CG art Stormblazed Sarky Roxil. Hey yo, there are too many people. Ambient noises, wretched theme from after school demo and exit music redux demo. Additional SFX from freesound.org. Covered music original by Daft Punk, Together Stardust, Sakura Maiden. Oh yeah, The Weeknd. Yeah, The Weeknd was that one of... I forget. I Feel You Coming, that was it. Menu and photo book art by Rhythm SFM. Dude, I have to speed out. Dude, do we have a letter of the creator? Like the DLC Exit Music had and Redux? Yes, you do! Okay. Oh, this is huge. But I'll read it all. Okay. To you, the player. First of all, I would like to apologize for the last few hours of the mod. I know this is definitely far from the way plenty of you thought the story would end. Especially if like me, Monika is your favorite girl. Trust me, even during the early stages of a lot of the stuff at the end of Act 2 and the start of Act 3 was very tough to write. I originally started writing within around June 2021. Originally my plan was to write it as a straightforward fanfic, since writing is something I am kind of passionate about, regardless of whether it's actually good. However, after the DDLC Plus rekindled my love of DDLC and its characters, hence why I was writing this in the first place, I wanted to try and turn my story into a mod like those. I fell in love with both back during my initial hyperfixation during 2018 and 2019, and more recently. Granted, my only experience with modding before this was making my own Doom WADs and a couple of Doom community projects, Project Unity and Revamp, and Ramp. Switching from realms of demonic slaughter to a world home to our favorite literature club was always going to be a bit daunting, but thankfully the community was always there to provide support. That actually helped me better understand the engine. Focusing on written writing, I wrote the mod wanting to take readers on a roller coaster. A tired expression, I know. Despite this, I also wanted to add my own personal flair to the characters. I took a lot of the influence from parts of myself, my friends and other people I know. Whether the experiences I took inspiration were positive or negative, I didn't really matter. I just hope I was able to do the main 4, or 5 if you count MC. Justice in spite of all the Britishism, I knew it. I was also going into this knowing that there was going to be moments in the story that would get to people either on an emotional level or in a way that wouldn't net me a couple of angry DMs, but I would rather take the risk than just play it safe. I know I already gave a bunch of special thanks in the credits, but I want to take a moment to explain them. Rim forward, your playthrough of the demo probably got the word of the mod out there better than I ever could. Cannymonger and Zero. When your playthroughs came out, I was both surprised and a little anxious, to put it lightly. Highly aside from Zero's, your time with the mods got me worried whether or not the port thing was going to be ripped apart like it was in a Hellraiser movie. Worries aside, the feedback from both the Let's Play and comment sections proved helpful in shaping the mod into what it is today. To the talented artist, either created a new art for Within. I can't thank you enough for giving life to this mod. Storm, Peroxide, Psych, Grisolcious, Rhythm SFM, and yeah, yes, y'all. If it wasn't for you, Within would be in an entirely different mod. I would like to also thank both Mr. Zerat the Mant, for introducing me to Krezotis, and Soviet Spartan for giving his permission to use Monika's outfits from our time. I would also like to thank both Thomas Bangalter and Guy Manuel, the Omni Christo, otherwise known as Daft Punk. As mentioned before, I started rating Within around June 2021. This was only a few months after Daft Punk split and in February. So me being me, I was listening to their music a lot, so if you were ever curious as to why the soundtrack features them a lot, there's a part of your answer, aside from me just really liking Daft Punk as is. I also I would also love to thank Amara Sakura Maiden, my family, and my fiancée Jade. Amara gave me the okay for me to use the track Add a Real Beauty in the mod. But in general, my family and fiancée have been really supportive of me during Within's production, and have been there for me on my off days. I think that Within would have taken even longer to finish if it wasn't for them. Lastly, there's one more person I would love to mention, that would be you, the person playing this mod. I want to thank you for coming on this journey with me. It's been a wild ride, full of twists and turns. Some expected and probably some you didn't expect. In the end, I just hope the wait was worth in some degree. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I've got a few ideas for mods I want to post Within. There's a Yuri-focused romance mod, my own personal take on the After Sayuri concept. Hell, there's even the idea of mashing the DDLC and Scream. I've not decided where I want to go next, but I hope you'll be there to join me. All the best, Column Baspon Bags Show. Dude, shoutouts to this guy, probably, I don't know. Dude, shoutouts to you. You made an incredible mod, and I'm happy to say that it's one of the best I've ever played. I say that a lot about a lot of mods, but I hold a pedestal for 4 in special. Doki Doki Exit Music, the original one. The first we ever played, because that one is a banger. Doki Doki Fruits of the Literature Club, because that mod, it truly shows, like, I don't know, it shows a different perspective from the MC, a MC that is cold-hearted but it's able to develop feelings for someone. I'm trying to remember the other pedestal. Jeez, I'm a mess. But if I remember correctly, I guess it was Fallen Angel. The Yuri's mod, Fallen Angel. That was a banger as well. And now this mod, the 4th on my pedestal, Doki Doki Within. Dude, this mod is amazing. I loved this game. Like, the DLC has been a great part of me, like, a big part of my universe since 2018, 2019, because I played a lot of it. And when I started searching for mods, there were never a mod that would make, like, Monika happy in the end. Like, it wouldn't have a mod that would make us be happy with Monika. I can't say that this mod made us be happy with her, but it gave, like, the MC after her death, it gave the MC both of the two worlds. Hell, and in the end, in the beginning of her death, hell, and in the end of the mod, it gave him heaven. It shows just how hard it is to people to get from the worst point of their life to the best. Like, 2 years passed since Monika died. Before that, the first it wasn't 6 months. The first 7, 8 months were literal hell. It was 8 months, because the first 2 months he dragged on like trying to kill himself, like having those thoughts. He almost killed himself, he almost died. And then, like, after 8 months, he was ready to go again at it. And after 2 years, he was not completely okay with what happened, but it was feeling better. He was different, it changed. And that just shows the human nature of, like, in the beginning it might be hard, but it ain't being hard forever. There is a way, and there always be solved. Everything will get solved. You don't need to rush things by killing yourself. Everything will be okay. And I think that this mod represents that very well. Like, different from Exit Music, where the MC only sees one choice, that is to kill himself right after Natsuki's death. And then they just kill the MC for 30 minutes, you get agonizing pain for him. Different from the MC, this mod shows that it's on human nature to press on. And with the help of your friends, your loved ones, the people who cared about you, you can always move forward no matter how much it hurts. I guess this is the message this mod is trying to get at. Not only giving Monika a well-deserved rest of all that she suffered between her father and her school, but also showing that no matter the adversity you're passing through, no matter how badly it seems to be, you can always find a way to cope. You can always find a way to press on. It being through your family, your friends, your loved ones, it doesn't matter. You always find a way to press on. You don't need to rush things with a noose, with a knife. You don't need to. There is always going to be a way to move on. You always have someone to care about you, no matter how hard the things get on you. You just have to have faith. If any of you have had any suicidal thoughts, have been feeling bad lately, have had any problems lately, you don't need to hold them onto you. That will always make you feel bad. That will only hurt you more. You don't need to keep them bottled up inside your mind. Find some. You probably had friends you trust, and tell them. I know it's not easy, like, yo, you just have to tell everyone, you need to tell a responsible adult. That's not as easy as they say, of course, because it's too personal. But it ain't impossible. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. I'm grateful. I know we are not much, but I'm grateful for the people I have in this channel. And I worry about what you might be going through. So, be safe, guys. I love this mod. Literally, I love this mod. DDLC within, it is finally at its end. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love this mod, like I've been saying for the last 30 minutes. Leave in the comments down below what you thought of it. And well, I'll take my leave. I'll probably start a new mod tomorrow, who knows. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment down below what you thought of it, and well, I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you on the flip side. Goodbye, pals.